our destiny. Oh, whoa. Well, can you feel the fire as we're moving to the rhythm of love? And every time we're close together, you make me feel so fine. The way you say those magic words and look into my eyes, I get this crazy feeling deep in my soul when you hold my hand, never let go. Girl, you make me lose control when we're moving to the rhythm of love. Yeah, the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love. Yeah, love. The rhythm of love. I'm spinning out of control when we're moving to the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love. The rhythm of love. I'm spinning out of control when we're moving to the rhythm of love. Hopeless lover, hopeless lover. I met you on a sunny day. Right there, you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day, you called me up. You told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair and your beautiful smile. Your sense of humor makes it all worthwhile. Don't make me wait, it's not a funny game. You know just what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. A hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. You make me smile when I think of you.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream. How is everyone getting on this evening? As you can see, it's another one of The Talk. We're just going to chat some shit and see what happens. We have Tim back with us, though we'll probably be dipping in now. So everybody say hello. And hello to Bubba, TFE Archive, Bon, Lord Tachanka, and Nano. Been a while, Nano. What's up, man? How is everybody getting on this evening? What has everybody been up to this week? And is everybody having a great weekend? Though for some of you it's probably ending soon. Well, I know it's ending for me soon. Hey Shrimp, how you getting on, man? What's crack-a-lackin'? But yeah, oh fuck's sake.
Thanks for the caps.
We literally just started, man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Would you like
$4.99.
a hamburger and a hot dog, or just a
Turn
hamburger, or
that
just
down
a
a
hot
little
dog
bit,
for lunch?
because
Hot dog would be great. Thank you.
apparently
You
Tim
just
is
want a
having
hot
a
dog?
hamburger or a hot dog.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need a lot.
Just reduce your volume a little bit, Tim, because we can hear every word your wife just said.
My sister-in-law, but
The question that is the real question though. Hamburger or hot dog, guys? 100% hot dog, right? 100% hot dog. Bubba says hi.
No.
No bother. What I'll do is I'll put myself on mute. If you need me for anything, I'll come off mute.
No, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's literally just chatting away anyway. So yeah, guys, what is everybody thinking about the news we got this week? Obviously, the main news that we got as people who play Fallout 76 is definitely going to be the expeditions coming on the 13th. So we have basically 23 days until expeditions drop. Now, obviously, I've expressed my opinion on expeditions multiple times, and what they're going to be like and what they are. It's going to be new content. It's going to be fun for a little bit, but unless Nuka World is on time, and it's at the end of the year, and we don't have a date on that yet, I don't know if it's going to be enough content to keep us, attentive. I could be wrong on that. I could find that it's incredibly fun and we play it to death, but I am very unsure how it's going to be. On top of that, hello Matasbo, how are you getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, what's everybody thinking about the announcement that we're getting daily ops not daily ops, fucking, I'm losing my mind. We're getting expeditions relatively soon. And on that note, I also have this, so I can switch cam. There's toys behind me that I didn't realise were in shot. It's my kid's toy box. Should probably move it. Looks stupid. Or should maybe angle it up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. The toy box is covered up now. Oh, god damn it. Messing with stuff and figuring stuff out is always difficult, though I don't feel like I'm in the shot very much. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I know you guys aren't saying much about it. Glizzy for life. What the hell does glizzy for life mean? Am I missing something? Is it part of your young speak? Young speak. I don't even know what young speak is. But yeah, no, it's... Dad, you're going to play with toys on stream. No, I'm not going to play toys on stream. I mean, I have... Someone's touched my brolly. I'm not pleased about that in the slightest. That... Someone's touched my songbird. The kids have definitely been in this room while I've been freaking out today. They've definitely been touching my stuff, and it's... Now that I can see it, it really triggers me. really triggers me. Oh, no. This is the problem with being a parent. Your kids will touch and ruin everything and anything you love. Your stuff, your house, your relationship. I like the Big Daddy. Are you talking about me and are you subsequently calling me fat, Tachanka? Or do you mean that Big Daddy? I wish there was a... I don't even know if there is. I wish there was a subject Delta Pop. I would definitely want to be that, getting that. I'm excited for the new update content, but not excited about long grinds. Well, yeah, the biggest problem with the new content is going to be the fact that we are going to have to grind a new currency. We're going to have to grind them at least once a day ourselves. If you don't have friends in game, and I know that sounds harsh, if you don't have friends, if you don't have people you play with in game, you are going to struggle to grind the content in comparison. It really depends on how many people we are able to lure into it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people on like Discords and Reddit and all the usual places asking people, we need people to join for expeditions, need to have a power core, and each person is going to run through it for that team. So I mean, within one team, you can at least get 4 rounds of it. So there is at least that. And I'm sure daily ops, I keep saying daily ops, expedition teams will pop up every so often and people will be able to jump in and do stuff. So it should be okay, but it can be pretty shit if you're that guy who makes a team, everybody joins, does your expedition, and then they all piss off. Yeah, the artificial grind of it, Nano, is definitely not fun. I mean, it is very much a case of we are going to be just farming content for the sake of content. It's not like there's any gear progression or any real, like, we're literally grinding for mostly cosmetic rewards. Because we've got all the best weapons in game, we've got all the best stuff already. So why would you need to grind in any other way? It is kind of a shit show. Nuka World on Tour is the one I'm really, really interested in, because that's potentially going to be a more consistent thing happening in the actual confines of Appalachia as well. On top of that, I saw there's like a new bunker coming out, well, a new vault attachment for expeditions, and it's basically the streets of Pittsburgh. It's literally a street of Pittsburgh. So one, that it kind of ruins two, well, it doesn't ruin anything, but it kind of, it's like a freaking cityscape in a vault. And two, it's outside. It's got a skybox, so it's not really a vault. It's not a shelter. It's just an open space to build in, which in its sense has its merits, but it's not what that is. I mean, they should have just made a separate thing and just, allowed. It's just a way for them to make money. That's it. It's a way for them to make money and explain that you've got some territory in Pittsburgh instead of just making like a it depends on what they do. You could maybe the access point for it, if it was a vertibird, that would be pretty cool. I suppose you could have a vertibird on your camp that transports you to the pit. That would make sense, and that would actually be really cool, but it depends on how they do it. And yeah, the skybox part is what kind of makes it strange and weird. Hey Fo-Schnizzle, how are you getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. Delicious tea. Why did that unfocus on my face? I hate when it does that. But yeah, so is there anything going on in the world of games that you guys are interested in? Is there any things that are going on that you guys would love to talk about? Oh, wait a minute. What is that? Now, I've just seen something. Thank you to who... Oh, I wish I knew what that... Someone apparently has got me something on Throne, and I'm just going to go check it out. Thank you very much to whoever that was. It should... I would have thought it would have told me in the email. I didn't actually see it pop up, or it didn't make any noises, and it certainly didn't appear in the chat. So let's see... It was apparently anonymous. Well, thank you to whoever it was for grabbing me a Vault Tech Vault 76 hoodie off of Throne. It is very much appreciated. I am going to enjoy that very much. I'll probably wear it constantly. That is very, very awesome, and absolute thank you to whoever that was. It did say it's anonymous, so yeah. Talking about that weird pit shelter, yeah, that seems suspect. It's just a way to make money for Fallout 76. It is literally just a way for Bethesda to get some revenue out of it. And don't get me wrong, I don't discourage them from finding ways to make the game profitable. It's just a case of, see, when you're not bringing content to the game, like substantial content, I cannot, like... It just grinds me a little bit. It's like, yeah, we should get that as part of the pit expansion anyway. You should give us something to build on. If you're making us pay for it, then it's a bit shit. And if they made it like a Fallout First thing, then I wouldn't. I'd be like, all right, fine. And it could be a Fallout First thing. I don't know fully yet. We don't really know what it's going to be. But if it was, then I wouldn't be upset. So I don't know if I'm upset about it yet. I just find it a bit weird, and it needs to be done in a way that is not just a shelter. It needs to be like a vertibird in your camp to fly you to the place. That would make sense. You've got your own little plot of land in Pittsburgh. You can land, you can build stuff. That would at least work in my head, but it's not really a shelter. If they put it on the shelter tab, I'm not going to split hairs about it, but it's not really a shelter, because if you can get hit by a nuclear weapon while you're standing in it, then it's not really a shelter. Either way, I'll have to get my ass in gear and do it. Finished the No Man's Sky Expedition. It was fun. I recommend it for anyone in the game if not familiar with the freighter uses in game. Well, I definitely think people should check out No Man's Sky. It's pretty awesome. According to Bubba, it was her that got the hoodie. Thank you, Bubba. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for the special awesome hoodie. And you will probably see it in the near future. The shelter annoys me. Generate some land and let us build in the pit. Yeah, Toaster, I definitely agree. There should be something that we can do with the pit. I find it's really annoying that we can't just go there outside of the expedition thing. It would be really cool if we could go there and it was just like have the expedition map where you can go shoot things, go do stuff, and then have the other side of it where I can go there, speak to the NPCs that are stationed there, and do like questy stuff there. You know, like go here, do this, collect that, gain quests for during the expedition. There'd be loads of different things that'd be really awesome. Hey Reaper472, and hello to Mr. Free, and finally, hello to Neely. Of course it was Mom buying you clothes. But yeah, no, how are you guys getting on? Welcome to the stream. What is going on with you guys this evening? We're just currently talking a little bit about the pit. I expect we're going to be joined by some other people in later in the stream, because we've got Tim here. He's just doing his thing. He's listening in. But yeah, Tim, what do you think about the expedition stuff that we've seen that is kind of ramping up? I don't know if you've looked at like the bundle or anything like that.
Hold on, just coming off mute. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. See what it's like. Be nice to have some different places to explore. I just hope there's actual content in there. Otherwise, it's going to be, like you said, very short.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely is going to be short. I've not played the secondary mission, but that was kind of the reason why I didn't want to jump back into the PTS again, because if we were playing the PTS so much, we would have got really bored of expeditions pretty quickly, I think.
Yep. So what's the Nuka World thing? Because I haven't read about that.
Well, it's just the Nuka World on tour. From what we've gathered, it's going to be like a new series of missions and stuff. I don't know if there's going to be any story content about it. We've not really got a huge amount of extra information from it, other than the usual stuff. And then it's going to be the Ultrasite abomination that we come up against. And we still don't even have full details on that. I mean, we are always assuming we drop a nuke and it spawns, but we don't have any definitive this is exactly what's happening kind of thing going on. So I really don't know. It should be interesting to see what happens though. But yeah, I don't know if you saw the shelter that's basically just Pittsburgh. Like you have a section of the pit to build in, but we don't know if it's going to be the atomic shop. We don't know if it's going to be Fallout First. We don't know if it's going to be scoreboard. All we know is they're probably going to charge us for it.
Probably. So if it's going to be Nuka World on tour, is it going to be like the Coca-Cola truck at Christmas? Is it going to have a big rig to town with a little lash?
From what we can gather, it's meant to be permanent because it's a new world boss, but it's like the Nuka World robots come in, and it's meant to be but it's meant to be either permanent or semi-permanent. It maybe shows up like Minerva, like it pops up for every week, but only for a couple of days. There's no like Nuka World and Tour implies that it comes and goes, but the way it's kind of been advertised is like it's the next sort of expansion of content. And you can't really call it an expansion of content if it's an event that just pops up like
Yeah.
once a year. That is not real consistent content. That's a seasonal event. That's very different from actual content.
Right. Okay.
My armpit
It's
is
not
more
different, at
interesting.
least.
Yeah, exactly. My armpit is more interesting so far. No, he isn't. I am on live chat. Um, daily challenges like kill 20 trogs would be good. Just going to the new map once a day is a bit shit. Yeah, I definitely agree, Neely. It's the big problem with it is we should be able to get some sort of just, not forced content in that sense. We should be able to go to the pit, do some stuff, like just go there and there's just radiant enemies wandering about, maybe do it in a kind of Errol type scenario where you can go there and maybe only 8 people can get into each individual instance of it. I don't know how that would work again on servers and how it would work in general, but it would be interesting at the very least. There's also the fact that you're only going to see trogs in this one very narrow instance. These enemies are going to be very specifically only in this place, and that also kind of detracts for a little bit unless they're going to start creating like trogs spawning in the Appalachia map, like they've fucking grabbed onto the vertibird and managed to get into Appalachia, that kind of thing. But who really knows what they're going to do with it? It makes no sense that they're all just going to spawn and exclusively be in this one little room that you can go into. Took me a month to get my Warcraft account back. Have you got it fully back now, Bubba? Because I know you were struggling with that. Let's have a Brotherhood Civil War in Appalachia. The game needs a new content ASAP. Yeah, Nearly I agree, but I don't think a Brotherhood Civil War is the way to go. I honestly think a war between the Enclave and the Brotherhood would be cool. If we actually got actual Enclave troops, like power armored Enclave coming to Appalachia, mind controlling Deathclaws like they did in Fallout 3 would be awesome. Like when they appear at that point in the game, that would be really interesting to see and deal with. If you get better rewards when you're on your own, more Nuka Cola, I will get everything on day one. I don't think you'll get everything on day one, Mr. Free. Yes, you will, and Iron Gunman as well. I'm very confused. Hey, Neo. I don't know why I say Neo. Hey, Tay. I don't know why yeah, you're not the one, Neo. My brain, I've been working today, so my brain is legitimately just completely bejuggered. Like, I honestly, it was a really warm day. People, I don't know what it is about people in retail, but why, when the shop's closing at 6, does everybody show up at 5:30 and then proceed to ask for the most complicated and annoying things ever? Please explain. Please explain people to me. I don't know how to people. I'm hoping the pit is a decent XP farm at the very least. I don't think it's going to be an XP farm archive. I really don't. It's going to be very much like Daily Ops. Literally, it's going to be very like Daily Ops. Because you can't just go in repeatedly, technically. Like, the biggest people that are going to suffer from expeditions is the people that play on private worlds on their own. That's the real issue. Anybody that plays on their own on private servers is pretty much at a massive disadvantage to everybody else, because they can do daily ops once and then they have to swap character to do daily ops again. I keep saying daily ops, expeditions. Now with daily ops, at least on your own you can go in, do everything, then you can go in again. You don't get the same rewards, you don't get all the extra fancy bells and whistles, but you can at least go in again. In other games and dungeons and other kind of things like that, you can go in again. There's no real limit to how many times you can go. It's just, the actual benefits for special rewards and things like that. You just can't keep on going and go in and go in. People suck. I avoid them whenever possible. I mean, I do spend a lot of time online, so that says I avoid people quite effortlessly. I mean, I only interact with people on a one-to-one basis when I need to work for food for my children. And yet, Tay, I have no idea what my brain was doing. It just went, Neo. Yes, use that. I've never once called her Neo before, but let's use that. I don't, yeah. Gone. Brain is just, Got about a month, Nano. Oh, I hope I get my account back before the pet comes out. What happened to your account, Nano? Did you lose it? Did someone eat it? Was it Bubba? Did Bubba steal your account? And your bank details? And your identity? Was it you, Bubba? Did you do it? Did you steal his identity? I won't tell
And her sweet roll.
Yes, and the sweet roll. Not you lot, though. Well, I don't. When it comes to people online, it's a lot easier to interact with people and deal with their shit. Your Xbox account was hacked. Fuck's sake, man. Hopefully you get it back soon, and Microsoft don't fuck around too much. It's really bad when you lose accounts and things like that, especially if you've got a shitload of games that you've purchased and all that kind of stuff. The Brotherhood Enclave War is not supposed to begin already. They will encounter each other in 10 years from now with the Vault 13 events. Well, that is just boring, Mr. Free. That's just silly and boring. I mean, Appalachia doesn't have to make sense. We know it doesn't have to make sense. It can literally just be random crap that happens. But yeah, just like anything can happen. They just need to say Fallout 76 is not canon. Don't take anything that happens here as a thing. They tried to spend $560, but my bank account was like, no way. Well, let's thank your bank account for that. No, that is not fun. That is very much not fun. But yeah, you've got all the receipts, I assume, so you should be able to get your account back. But yeah, it's rough when shit like that happens. It's just, yeah, I'll be honest, I've never really had an account hacked. So I've never went through that hassle. But I've had people that I know that on a frequent basis it's happened over the years, so I'm not unfamiliar with the fucking shit that goes on, and that's a shitload of money for them to be trying to get rid of. Whether they try to like buy gift cards or like, I don't know, Xbox currency to send to somebody else. I hate that these people don't get caught easily as well, because they are absolute massive penises. And they smell. They smell bad. Yeah, I applied for account recovery, Microsoft, but it seems like a cluster already. That's pretty shit. That is really, really shit. Well, hopefully you get it back sooner rather than later. They even hacked my hexadecimal password for Discord. Christ. That is pretty harsh. I mean, how... I don't even know how you would hack things and do that. Hey, Wiggle. Welcome to the stream, man. How are you getting on?
Hello. Doing good.
We're just talking about Nano being hacked.
Nano being hacked. I don't know what that is.
Nano is Sickle Man in the chat.
Oh, he's hacked. How?
His Xbox account was hacked. His Discord was hacked.
Oh, that sucks.
It makes sense why I've not seen you in a while, Nano, because I thought you disappeared for a couple of weeks there. I was like, not seen Nano in a while, so it makes a lot of sense that something major happened. I've had Mina's emails hacked, but nothing more, knock wood. It's insane that some people have this much time in their hands that they try and hack random accounts. It doesn't really surprise me, Mr. Free, but at the same time, you would think they would focus their attention on bigger fish to fry. Not to say that generally people aren't big fish to fry, but you'd think they'd go, I'm going to hack Mr. Beast's account. He's got lots of money. I'm going to hack Elon Musk's account. He's got lots of money. I mean, if you're going to hack somebody massive. Like somebody that you can then fucking go onto Twitter and go, I like taking turds out of toilets. You know, just literally just fucking doing all that kind of weird shit. But no, they just go looking for people that are going about their day-to-day lives and trying to ruin theirs and take all their money. It's disgusting, and they need to stop.
It's brutal.
So what were you
Brutal.
recording?
I was recording a test. I was testing something, so it'll be hopefully tomorrow if I can get it edited. Meat Week made things difficult.
Meat Week makes playing the game difficult.
Well,
Just like,
it made what I was doing difficult. It's a combination of we get potato salad as a reward. Like that was one of the things, right? So I had a bunch of that and I was using it to heal. Unfortunately, that was throwing off numbers on my health that screwed up my test. So I had to just wander around waiting for buffs to wear off. And yeah, it was just, it was, not a big deal, but Meat Week made other parts of it difficult too.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I got it done. Finally, it's my third attempt. It's actually my third time recording, and yeah, I finally got the test.
Nice.
The test done. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully I can get it edited and get it out tomorrow. It'll be fun. I think so anyway.
Well, I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to it.
Hopefully.
Don't hack people who can find you and hack back. Well, just because somebody owns a tech company doesn't necessarily mean they can hack you back. They aren't exactly the same thing. However, if you've hacked them, that says alone that they're not very good at hacking you back. Just take all their money. Just take Elon Musk's money, donate it to, I don't know, renewables.
Right. So Tim is here, but he's muted.
He's dipping in and out when he wants to talk.
Gotcha. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm muted because it's busy here, and
Yeah.
right now I'm doing daily ops again, so I'm gonna grind
Gotcha.
up soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Tim.
Hey, dude.
Hey,
I'm still in Seattle,
DMD.
but here till tomorrow.
Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I've read every chat.
Looks like we got a pretty good turnout too. Nice.
100%. Would like new mutations.
Oh.
A plague walker one that works gives you a poison damage field. The melee ones are triggering more for me. I definitely would like more mutations. I don't know if you guys seen the concept art for the original format for the mutations, where you would go through like 3 or 4 stages of mutation, and the two kind of ones that were shown was you would become like a mega mole rat or a super mutant. And once you fully became a super mutant or fully became a mega mole rat, you couldn't wear armor. So it'd be like you were in power armor all the time, and you'd get bonuses for each level of mutation that you'd get to. And then after you'd mutated into a super mutant, you'd have a subsequent new evolution where one would be that you'd get more melee damage, or physical defense, or energy defense. And it was more of a nuanced kind of method. You could literally turn into a monster if you decided to. The disadvantage you'd have is that you couldn't wear armor, but the advantage is you could get these massive buffs from your mutations alone. And I think that concept is so good. And I so wish that they either revive it, or they went back and do it or they go back and do it in a different game. For Fallout.
That would be interesting. I'd actually like to see him I'd like to see him do a lot, add in like extra perks, just give us more things, more things to choose from. Give us more hard choices. Really with the builds, like depending on what you are, like if you're a commando build, for example, you really don't have a lot of hard choices. If you're just like a straight commando build, it's kind of a formula for how you do a build, but if they gave us a lot more perks to choose from, there are things they could add in to actually give us some tough choices.
Yeah,
so that would be nice.
But the only disadvantage with the mutation thing that they were saying is once you mutate into a super mutant fully or a mole rat fully, you can't go back. So the character is that. Right. And that is a good kind of choice to be able to make. It's like it also potentially affects how the game interacts with you, because can you imagine being a super mutant walking up to Foundation,
right,
or being a fucking mole rat, man? Just like,
right. Exactly.
There's so many cool things that could come out of it. And
having them be permanent would be. That's another thing. It's like anything you do in this game, you can just undo really easily. That's why there are no hard choices, because I can try it out. And even legendary perks. Yeah, if I screw up and I don't like that one, well, eventually I'll be able just to pay a perk coin to get it off and put another one on. So it's there really aren't hard choices in this game at all, and that's and not to mention just the gameplay itself, where the choices that you do make in terms of quests and dialogue and whatever don't matter because everything is the same in the end. So yeah, I don't know.
I want to see the kangaroo legs and the speedy feet or the scaly skin. Yeah, Mr.
And the
Fate,
pouch.
if there was physical attributes to your mutations, that would be a lot more awesome. I definitely think that specific little aspects and visual things would have been great. I mean, Plague Walker, having your skin maybe looking a bit pus filled or having some sort of gas leaking out of you or something like that. The electrical charge, maybe you're literally spark as you walk around. That would be pretty fucking awesome. But they removed a lot of cool stuff, maybe due to design limitations, maybe due to laziness, maybe due to just not enough time. Who's to really say for certain? I just hope that someone in the back of their head is working on this shit and you can turn into a Deathclaw man.
Oh, there you go.
Or a Mothman.
Deathclaw man. Right. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be kind of cool. Just have, and I would like to see other things. I mean, say for instance, you're playing a low health, which probably most people are. Oh, you actually have to look like you're an inch away from death. Like it affects your physical appearance, not just not just it's a bar, a health bar that means nothing. Have it actually make it look like your eyes are like all dark and gaunt, and yeah. I mean, just I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do that they won't, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they definitely do that they won't or just aren't ready to do yet, and it's really about figuring that out. But a super kangaroo mutant would be freaking awesome to deal with.
Oh yeah, having mutations. Yeah, having the mutations actually like twisted muscles. You just look like this hulky person, and stuff like that.
But the thing about these things as well is they tend to use these things later on. There's lots of things that they've worked on in games, and it's not quite worked out, but they bring back later on. So it gives me a little bit of hope for any iterations of Fallout in the future, especially when they're bringing in this new engine for the next Fallout game. And yeah, it's probably going to be like, 10, 15 years away. But at least there's an idea sitting there that they might be able to fuck around with, which I think is a great idea. Genuine think it's a great idea.
You'd hope. Although the people who do 76, like my understanding, it's a completely different team than the one that actually does the single player stuff. So, which is good. Like, I don't want those people touching a single player game, honestly.
It's actually possible to show the mutations, but the impact on the server was high, apparently. According, see, the problem I have with that, Mr. Free, is
always an excuse.
Well, the problem I have with any of that server bullshit is there's so many games out there. There's fucking thousands of games out there that run MMO style games that have thousands of people, hundreds of people on the same server, all moving independently. They have loads of enemies that are respawning, popping up, that kind of thing. Fallout 76, by comparison, is such a fucking small game in terms of map and in terms of moving parts that how does so much impact the server so drastically. And yeah, it's probably going to be the spaghetti code that's to blame. But how can they make a game so spaghettified that it kind of goes that way? It's very disconcerting that their game is so broken in the sense of stability just because it's made of fucking spaghetti.
Well, and the thing also on that is, like, I don't like that excuse when they say it affects service stability. Well, so does giving us Meat Week for 2 weeks, and so does giving us Smosh Knot for 2 weeks, and so does it giving us, all these other seasonal things for way too long. It just crushes the server, and yet whatever, they just keep bringing that out. So, I just hate that excuse. Oh, it impacts server stability. Well, yeah, but you don't give a shit with all the other seasonal stuff that impacts the server.
But see, with Meat Week, what I think they should be doing is every 4 hours, the server should just flat out shut down and reboot.
Yeah,
every 4 hours, every server should be shutting down and rebooting just to maintain the integrity of the server.
So the game runs halfway decent.
And it would keep it working. And yeah, it'd be a bit of a pain in the arse that if you're on a server, you can only be on for 4 hours. But that allows you to launch every nuke on that server, do a bunch of meet weeks, and do encrypted. That gives everybody plenty of time to do it. And then that server, once it's rebooted, will still run properly. Flakes, welcome to the stream. How are you getting on, man?
Flakes.
I don't play the engine card often, but the creation engine is extremely sandboxy in the area of the superfluous moving parts that can't really be shed, but will massively drag the servers down. Yeah, I mean, it is the engine and the spaghetti code. I mean, I know that's the fact, but if it's so shit, if it's so bad, why make an online game using it? Like, it's that way that, yes, there is a valid reason for it all being a problem, but why did they make an online game when it was a valid problem? I mean, it's literally not an excuse to go, well, our engine's shit. We made an MMO, but our engine's shit. It's like, well, yeah, don't make an MMO if your engine's shit then, please.
Right.
Like, wait until you've got something that'll work, and then make an MMO. I mean, can you imagine?
Put it out without a plan, right? I mean, they put it out to just say, well, we're not going to add MP, we're not going to have to do anything. We'll just like put out this open world and let people do whatever they want. We're not going to have to do anything. And of course, that turned out not to be true. And so now they're kind of like, okay, we have this crappy foundation, and now we have like, you know, we thought like a little shack would be good, and it turns out we have this giant family. So now they're adding rooms over here, and it's, you know, and it's like just the most insane looking structure that they have. And of course, it's rickety, and it's, you know, lack of planning. That's why all of this is because they didn't. It was a bad design from the beginning, based on, you know, flawed thinking.
Well, it's what they were originally intending to do was basically make a multiplayer for Fallout 4. That was the intention. I mean, Fallout 76 is literally a multiplayer for Fallout 4 that gained arms and legs, and they started coming up with all these crazy ideas and started going, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this. And it's a game that exists on the best intentions of the design team behind Fallout 4. Like, genuinely the best intentions. But all the best intentions in the world don't make up for what we ended up with. They've still not managed, in my opinion, to rectify most of the mistakes. And it just brings up more questions. And I think that's the kind of problem with Fallout 76. I think Schnizzle says it best. 76 is a crowdfunded test bed for the future Bethesda MMO. We are literally guinea pigs.
Right.
We
you know,
really
I would gladly stop playing this if they would roll out, you know, Fallout 77, you know, with an actual, you know, thought put into the design of it, and, you know, something that actually runs halfway decent. And plus they put no resources into this game, right? It was like a skeleton crew, and I mean, the reason this game is bad is because of Starfield.
Well,
I mean,
I think
all of their resources were going into Starfield, and this was kind of just always treated like a hobby, and not an actual AAA game like it should have been. I mean, it's a AAA studio. This should have been a AAA game, and it hasn't been.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why. Like, I don't think the game had a skeleton crew initially. It had quite a lot of people working on it. The biggest problems were that this game was seen like the kiss of death for anybody at Bethesda. If you got put on the 76 development team, you were either going to get lumped with a load of shit saying this needs done, that needs done, complaints here, complaints there, blah 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 blah, and or you would get ignored by the rest of Bethesda. Like, people would just like, no, it's only fucking Fallout 76, fuck those guys. Todd Howard was meant to manage the whole thing. He fucked off at least midway through, and started working on Starfield. On top of that, we also have the fact that people were leaving, quitting, dealing with crunch culture, dealing with things that just weren't working, and they knew it wasn't fucking working. Think of how bad the people actually working on the game, who probably for the most part aren't even there anymore, when the game was very close to being launched. They knew it was broken. They knew it was a buggy mess. They probably were yelling at Bethesda, do not release this in its current state. But it did, because they had a deadline to meet, they had quotas to make, and they had games to sell. I mean, think of the fucking canvas bag thing. They couldn't even get canvas bags
Right.
And it's not that they couldn't get canvas bags, they just didn't want to spend the money. So the marketing, like every stage of the game just collapsed right before it was released, and it just didn't go well. When the servers were down all day and they came back online, the game ran so good. Yes, Surfer, anytime the servers go down and come back on, it runs perfectly. It really does. Why is that not in the game video options? Oh, pass.
What?
Just pass. I'm talking to DMD.
Right. No, but I'm like, what? Why is what not? What am I missing?
Just like.
Oh, to turn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
VSync.
VSync,
Why is it?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why that is not on. But yeah, like there's a lot of things you can do with like the custom innies and the mods that you can get from the game that technically aren't breaking terms of service or anything like that. But I never use them on the basis that I don't want Bethesda to go, you can't play this game anymore. But then again, they might do that because I'm a dick and I keep criticizing them.
Yeah, but if you were playing with, that's the thing. When you're recording, you definitely don't want to be recording and showing mods. It's playing with fire a little bit, I think.
I'll make sure to pin Bubba's message. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. I definitely think there's a lot of flaws still with the game, and hopefully they fix them. But I think fundamentally the real issue is how the game works. And I don't think they're ever going to fix it to a stage where we're going to get something grand. They're going to have to remake the game from the ground up to even get remotely close to that. And I think if they ever make a proper Fallout MMO like Elder Scrolls Online, I think that's the only way we're going to get an actual Fallout real online experience. And they're going to have to do it in a way where they incorporate different parts of the, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, New Vegas, all these kind of different locations and maps, and add in like a diverse and kind of robust world. And we're not going to get that in 76. I think 76 is going to have a shelf life. And when that's going to be, that it kind of goes down the toilet, I don't know. But I'm fairly certain, that, and I know for a fact, private servers, somebody's working on them, and they're going to be a thing very soon, if they aren't already, like, a thing, and just not well shared.
I think Fallout, because Fallout is such a valuable IP, because people just love Fallout. We know, we're all here, we all love Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this game stays alive as long as there's not a new Fallout. So if the next Fallout we get is if the next Fallout we get is a single player Fallout, which I would be surprised if we saw it within 10 years. I just, based on how long they take to develop stuff, I just can't imagine within 10 years we have, in less time than that, we have a single player. Now, if they were to replace this with another multiplayer, maybe. But I think they keep this alive just because it's such a valuable IP, and they keep it going, even if it's just with, Scotch tape and spit. I do think they keep it going until there's a new Fallout game, at least. So it could be a while. It doesn't mean it'll be good, but it could be a while. So, I do think it's just, and I just think it's just too valuable for them to just not have a current Fallout out there.
Well, they have 4 to that extent.
They do have 4, but I think at this point and they're probably still selling. It probably still sells pretty. I know that if you look at Steam charts, like, it consistently has more people playing than this does. I don't know how, in terms of sales, it does. If people are still buying it new, probably on Game Pass people are playing it, but they do have 4. But that's they do have 4.
Fallout 4 is far more successful in terms of concurrent players.
For sure.
The moment.
For sure.
So I think that no matter what anyone says about it, the 4 is the current Fallout. 76 is a side thing as far as I'm concerned, and I think it always will be a side thing. And I do agree that they're gonna, while it's profitable, while they're making money out of it, they will continue funding the servers and running them, because it doesn't cost them anything to run the servers. It costs them to develop new stuff in comparison. Right. As long as the cost of the servers is maintained by, like, Fallout First subs, people buying the atoms, that kind of thing, yes, they will. But the second it becomes not profitable, the second they're not making money back on their investment, Fallout 76 servers are going to get taken down. 100%. The second they are consistently losing money on it.
Oh, Yeah, I'm
So,
sure that's true.
so it's a case of I don't think they will keep it running indefinitely unless they make money from it. So there is that. I think that's the real thing here. There is a cut-off point for the lifetime of 76
you love me.
when it is not profitable. Thank you for the sub, Sickly. I don't know if you're in here. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, that's. I think. I mean, I don't know how much they make out of Fallout 76. I don't have access to those numbers, but I can damn well say that it's not going to be as much as a lot of games would, that if they had like a good setup. So yeah.
So here's some numbers, some Steam chart numbers I'm looking at. So Fallout 76 playing an hour ago, 11,500. Fallout 4 playing an hour ago, 27,200. So more than double. The all-time peak is even bigger. I mean, so Fallout 76, the all-time. I mean, actually, in terms of peak, Fallout 76 is not that bad. I mean, its all-time peak is 32,800. So it's like still doing okay considering how high it was.
It's not bad.
Fallout 4's all-time peak is 472,000. So it's more than 10 times.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. I mean, Fallout 4. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good. It's a very accurate way to say that Fallout 4 is still the current Fallout, just based on the number of players.
Yeah, it takes a shit ton of 76.
This is just Steam, obviously. It doesn't tell you what
PlayStation and Xbox and things like that.
And yeah, so who knows? But I can't imagine it's all that much different, in terms of a ratio. I mean, it's probably pretty close. Although I don't know, because of modding, probably PC, but there's PC Game Pass as well. So I mean, there's going to be on that, but probably because of modding, console, it's probably more. It's probably not as big a difference on consoles because of mods.
But the thing I'd say about Steam charts, the thing you need to remember about Steam charts is everybody on Steam paid for the game.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fundamental fact. Everybody that has a Steam Fallout 76 account paid for the game. So it's 11,000 people that paid the initial price, or like bought it on a sale, or got it like a fucking disc or a code off someone. So that's 11,000 people that definitely 100% paid for the game. Everybody in Xbox, and there will be potentially some that paid for the game, but everybody on the Xbox Game Pass on PC or on Xbox didn't pay for the game.
Right.
So you're more likely. I think you're more likely to have higher numbers on Game Pass because it's free. I think that's a factor here. That Game Pass is more likely to have higher numbers. And like on PC, it doesn't matter because Game Pass is the Steam is like both of them work in tandem. So you don't get a full representation of how many people are actually playing Fallout 76. If it's 11,000 on Steam, on PC, it's probably higher than Fallout 4, but then you don't get the numbers of who's playing Fallout 4 on Xbox. So, on Game Pass. Or whatever on PC on Game Pass, because that will be free on there as well, I assume, at the moment.
I would assume that as well. Yeah, so, I mean, so it's hard to know. All we can go by is Steam. I mean, that's really all the numbers we have, so that's all we can go for. So
yeah. So it's hard to say what it is on PC. It's very difficult to know how many people are actually playing because we don't have. Well, I don't think we have the metrics for Game Pass. So on PC, idea. For a certain 11,000 people who paid for the game are still playing,
right?
But you don't know how many people are actually playing. So it's kind of strange. Hey Armand, how are you getting on, man? I paid for the game on PS4 when it came out. See, I mean that's the thing as well. On Xbox and PlayStation, there's numbers there as well, but most of the people that are currently playing the game probably got it for free. Because they got it on Game Pass or I think, was it on PlayStation Plus? I'm sure it was.
I don't know.
I'm almost certain I had people telling me it was on PlayStation Plus. So you're going to and that's a good thing that it's free because it's going to give an influx of players. So this is the thing, you can't accurately say how many people are actually playing. Hey Bucket, welcome to the stream, man. How are you getting on? I would think Game Pass is hard to judge because I would have never played 76 if it wasn't on Game Pass. A lot of people are the same, Nano. A lot of people are the same. I think you won't find many people playing Fallout 4 on console. I think you'd be surprised. If people don't have a PC and they like Fallout, they will play Fallout 4 quite a bit. And I've just noticed, hey Andrew Brock, welcome to the stream. How are you getting on, man? But those Fallout 4 players aren't spending $14 a month and buying all the DLC stuff. Well, I mean, the $14 a month, yes, they are not paying that. But if they bought the game, they bought the DLCs, and there is paid expansion content in the form of mods on Fallout 4. I forget what it's called.
It's the I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's still up actually.
I think it is.
I don't know if it's still getting content rather.
Oh, it definitely is still getting stuff.
Well, I know there's still mods, but I don't know. It's the Creation Club, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the Creation Club. The Creation Club.
I know there
is a way for them
I
to
did see a
monetize it.
video from a certain person who covers that sort of thing. Talked about how Game Pass stopped getting updates for. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. It was for. I think it was maybe for Skyrim. Never mind.
Yeah, it might
It
be
went a
that.
long time without getting any kind of updates, and then so it was Skyrim. I was thinking of the game. Still
Yeah.
Bethesda though.
Oh yeah, 100%. Free don't mean free. Some Game Pass have Fallout first. Well, this is also a factor as well. Like, I mean,
Right.
when I say they got the game for free, I mean they didn't pay for the actual game itself. They didn't buy that damn abomination sitting on top of my shelf. You know, they didn't pay for the actual game on launch, so therefore they didn't pay for nobody got a hard disk unless you were on Xbox or PlayStation, but they didn't pay for that code to get the game. They have the game because they're paying a subscription. And the thing is, if you're paying for Game Pass, you are paying for the game. You're paying for all the games you get. Microsoft is getting money from you. That's another potential reason why they would keep it running. It's all money going into the pile because for a fact, Xbox and Microsoft are looking at what games the people are actually playing that they've got free with Game Pass. And if those games aren't profitable and they're not getting money from it, then they'll be like, oh, well, fuck that game, and they'll delete it off the servers or they won't have it on there. Nobody's playing, nobody's getting it to play it. Then they're not going to use the resources to maintain the game. So Game Pass certainly helps support Fallout 76 and keep it running. This is all part of a big thing. If literally you have Game Pass, the only game you play is Fallout 76, Microsoft knows that. They know it. 100% know it, and they are going to be actively using that information. Hey Cockney American, how are you getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. Vast majority of my playtime Fallout 4 was on Xbox One with mods. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that play Fallout 4 on consoles. Like 100%. I did originally. I mean, before I got my PC. I've played Fallout 3 I had on PlayStation 3. Then I had it on Xbox 360. Then I had it on PC.
That was me with Skyrim. I had it on every platform.
Yeah, I've only bought Skyrim twice. I bought it for my Xbox 360, and then I bought it for Steam. But I bought it in Steam for super cheap during one of the sales, so I didn't really pay much for it. Fallout Store is just silly. I mean, yeah. It's silly paying Creation Club prices for some of the shit. It is a very silly thing.
Some was free though. I mean, I never bought anything, but I got quite a bit of stuff off there for free for Fallout 4 anyway.
Let's see. Player can't play in the game. How many players play? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, survival mode is the only way to play Fallout 4. Not the only way, but that is the best way. The game is so much better in survival mode.
So that's accumulated players. Right, so Mr. Free, that's from all free things. I'm not seeing those numbers wrong, am I?
I don't see his post.
So basically, the thing that Mr. Free's showing, that the players that are currently live in 76 is basically 35,000, but the active players in the past 30 days apparently is 10 million.
Well, what is okay? I'm not sure what that even means. So,
Well, it either means active accounts or people actively logging in a 30-day period. Like
I would be
separate people logging
shocked
in.
if that was 10 million unique people. I would be shocked.
Across free platforms, completely free game, to some aspects. 10 million isn't really that strange, but it depends on what they're doing. I mean, could literally be somebody logging in, doing their dailies, logging off.
Yeah, true.
Like
True, but
most
so
of
that's
us.
a lot of. I mean, based on the Steam charts numbers, it's just like that would just be shocking if there's that many.
It would.
I mean, I would have trouble believing that number, honestly.
But the thing is, out of the 10,000 people are on, it could be a different 10,000 people 5 minutes later.
Not active logins, it's just copies of the game, right? It's just like it's unique people it's unique accounts for the game.
Right,
Is that
right.
what it is?
Just unique accounts
That
for the game.
that
okay.
I would believe. That would be a number I'd believe.
But the thing is, 35,000 people is a fairly large amount of people to be playing a game at any given time.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, Creation Club, the idea behind Creation Club is great. If people put out quality mods and they're worth paying for, I wholly support it. I mean, Fallout London is a good example, like a very, very quality mod that is probably worth paying just as much as you probably paid for Fallout 4 when it just came out, if the hype matches the content. We won't know that fully until we actually see the mod when it's out. But Fallout London, like if that builds up to, if it's a hype matches it, I would gladly pay for a full price for a game for it. Like gladly.
Well, yeah, it's a whole new world space. I mean, it's like
yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends
Creation Club
on.
is paid. So I don't necessarily agree with that because I did use some of the mods on Creation Club where actually I was disappointed that I couldn't get them when I went to PC because some of them, like the scrapping mod, I thought that I used on Creation Club I liked better than the one I got off Nexus. So, and some of them were free. I mean, there were a lot of free mods in Creation Club. Not all of them were paid. There was a lot of free stuff that was actually worth using.
Yeah, I kind of like survival mode in Fallout 4 as well, Animal. But yeah, losing all your progress because the game bugs out and wigs out and fucking does stupid things is never like that. I'll be honest, that was the kind of foundation of Fallout 4. The amount of times I lost hours worth of content because the game just did something stupid, or like I'd walk into a car and it'd instantly kill me.
Survival options. Survival options.
It just gave me rage.
That'll do it. That's what I use. Survival options, because I want protect you from the game. That way you can still save, and because survival, who cares about the sleep part? I mean, I played it for the immersion.
Yeah.
Rather.
I mean, a lot of people did.
So it's not really, to me, it wasn't immersive to have to sleep to save. It's like basically, unless you're role playing as a narcoleptic, it just isn't. It doesn't really work that way. So I use survival options just to tweak those kinds of settings. Like it didn't really affect the difficulty or anything like that. It just made it a more I wanted a more immersive experience, and
if you were role playing, surely if you were role playing a narcoleptic, you just randomly fall asleep.
Right? Yeah,
like you'd be in the middle of a fight and just like.
Well, and even if I was going to play that mechanic where you had to find a bed to sleep, well, I mean, think of all the other furniture in the game, like couches and stuff. Because there are mods you can get. I never use them, but there are mods you can get that'll let you sleep on those because you should be able to. I mean, right? Like if I'm going to sleep, I can't sleep on this couch. That's dumb. So
you literally be able to sleep on anything.
Something. Exactly. And
I've slept on a concrete floor plenty of times in my life, so why the fuck can't I do it anywhere? Like, yeah, it's like the weighting mechanic. You should be able to just, instead of it being weight, just go to fucking sleep where you're standing.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. But yeah, I mean, there's mods for everything, and so you can actually. And I never did any of the transformational mods, like Frost, which I've watched a little bit on that, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's like a completely different game. But yeah, the modding community is just, they've just done so many amazing things. And backpacks, like I think Bethesda learned from that. It's like, yes, we need backpacks in these games, and so they finally gave us one in this. Hopefully they figured it out.
Well, they locked it behind one of, well, not locked it behind. They locked the
Yeah.
good one behind the most annoying quest ever, though.
Yeah.
So they even fucked that up in a way.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Well, that wasn't there at the start, right? Like that came like the tadpole stuff wasn't there when the game launched, right? That came later, I think.
I believe it came in with Wild Appalachia. I could
Yeah, so it was
be
like the
wrong.
first with the first update or the first big
the
update,
first
right?
the first kind of major update when they added like the sheep squatch and things like that and their weapons and whatnot. I'm sure it was Wild Appalachia. I could be wrong
That sounds
on
right.
that.
That sounds right. I wasn't playing
yeah.
then, but that sounds right. I mean, I wasn't playing, but I was definitely following the game, and I wanted a reason to jump in, but that wasn't it yet.
Yeah,
So.
Flakes, I definitely agree that the support that modders should get is very, very much a big thing. I mean, I've said this so many times. The modding community of Bethesda games, they're the heart and soul of every single part of this community. They deserve so much credit. They deserve so much, like, honestly, Bethesda needs to fucking just hire them.
Right.
Like, straight up go, right, we are going to hire a studio and just call you like the Modders Brigade. We will pay you a salary because you guys fix our games every time we fuck them up. Like, literally, the modding community is the only group of people I want fucking working on the game in the first place. Because they make amazing shit. They really do.
Right.
They fucking break their backs. And they do it with less effort and less time than fucking Bethesda does. Because you know why? They're passionate about it. They actually care. They aren't doing it for money. They're doing it because they want something good. Right.
And it's not just the fixing thing, right? It's also the adding new quests and adding in new weapons and adding new things to just make things. I mean, think of what the like we saw those numbers on Fallout 4. Imagine if there was no mods. Like, would those numbers be even 10% of what they are still? I mean,
probably not.
Right? And Skyrim is going, what are we, 11 years in? So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't usually play with mods on Skyrim. I like the vanilla. I like it vanilla because, I mean, it's huge anyway. But I mean, still, modders have done a lot with that game. They've added in, DLC-sized quests and things. So that game also, would it be released on your refrigerator if it wasn't for modders? I don't know.
No, I don't. I honestly don't think Skyrim would have got away with it. Because if you think of the at least the PC version of Skyrim, no one runs Skyrim without the Skyrim script extender. That is like the first thing everybody downloads, because that fixes the game in its base form. Right. And those problems exist in the game to this day, unless you have that. And then that allows you to then subsequently get loads of mods that, like, just the most smallest mod in comparison to a lot of them that fixes the game, and then allows you to download so many other mods and create your own kind of experience. If modders could get paid, they'd absolutely charge for their content. I mean, I do agree they would charge for their content, but the fact that they do it regardless of being able to get paid for it is still, like, it shows passion. It shows that they want something better. I mean, it's that kind of way where it's like that guy that, isn't a fucking plumber, but fixes the bit underneath your sink because they don't want your fucking house to flood.
Right.
Now, they can't charge you for it because they're not a plumber, but they can certainly get other ways of getting helped out, like Patreon.
Yeah.
Because while you're technically not getting paid for it, there's a way to support these people.
Yeah, you can tip them. I mean, it's like coffee or anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tip them.
That's why
I have seen that on modders. Like on a mod page on Nexus, I've seen that before. It's like if you'd like to, donate. It's not, you're not paying them. You're giving them a donation. Here's how you do it. So
it's like busking, basically.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're out there. You got your hat out.
But yeah,
if you like my show, here's how you can help me out.
Yeah. Patreon technically isn't legal. Well, you're not giving them money for the mod. You're giving them money to support them.
Right.
It's all about how you word it.
Right.
It's literally everything's legal if it's worded the right way. And yeah, Bethesda lets people get away with it on the prime basis that they know if they fuck with the modders. And don't get me wrong, there's certain mods and certain things that I know they've went, no, because these things are like clear violations and you can't get away with it. But most modders and most mods, they let them get away with it on the basis that you don't fuck with it. It's like, it would be like going after streamers and saying you're using our content to get paid. You can't do that.
Your game.
I'm literally going to claim all your stuff on YouTube. The big problem with that being, it completely kills the hype for the game. It stops people wanting to play. So there's that. There is that.
I've heard that. Okay, so
God,
I mean, I've actually.
Thank you for the $4.99 nano, but no, thank you for the
thanks for the caps.
So I've actually even had that. I mean, people have said that to me. It's like, oh, I saw what you did, and it inspired me to start a. Well, yeah, but I mean, basically, I saw your video, and because of that, I started a new playthrough, right? So, and that's my teeny little channel. So if they shut down people that had big channels. Think of all the people. I mean, I was actually watching a live stream of someone who's much bigger than you or me, and he got so many comments of like, oh, I watched your series on XXX because he does lots of games of XXX and inspired me to play that game, or I started playing this game because of your video. But so that's of course they're not going to shut down streamers. That would kill. I mean, that would kill. Oh, yeah. I mean, you'd be stupid. I mean, and Bethesda's not stupid.
Companies love streamers and influencers because they are basically, for the most part, free advertisement.
Yes.
Like, it's literally free advertisement. They don't have to pay us to advertise their games. We just go out of our way to do it. And yeah, it doesn't matter how big or small you are. If you've encouraged one person to go and buy a game because you've streamed it and you're like, I'm having a lot of fun here, then these companies fucking love that. They've not had to do anything, and you've basically paid them 30 quid.
Right.
Like that they love that. They absolutely love that. Think of the amount of videos I've spoke about certain things in regards to like Fallout first and like, oh, I'm back on it again. I can't play the game without it. There's probably people have went, I'll try it out.
Right.
Like, I can't say for definite anybody has, but people probably have.
Even one person, yeah.
Yeah, and if
well,
it's one person,
I mean, just as proof how much they like, YouTubers, basically, or streamers, but, I mean, I say YouTubers, but I guess there's Twitch, but, I mean, think of when Fallout 76 launched. Like, all the people they invited to come to the, it was a big deal. They invited them to the Greenbrier and let them play and, whatever, because they know. Well, they know that all those people influence other people to play their games.
Well, a more recent example is with QuakeCon. You had Tonic and Chad, who were both sort of co-hosting it with a load of... They were doing like a trivia thing, like a Fallout trivia, with the voices of Fallout and Elder Scrolls games. So they were doing literally doing like a Fallout trivia thing, and they were sort of hosting it. And they work in tandem with quite a few of the, not necessarily the biggest streamers that work in the sector in terms of Fallout and Fallout 76 and all that kind of thing, but some of the smaller mid-tier ones, because Chad's stuff is pretty huge on the podcasting. He's the biggest podcaster. Well, it's the biggest podcasting show for Fallout. And I would heavily recommend it if you haven't already. It's a pretty cool thing. And then you've got Tonic. And now Tonic isn't like Angry Turtle, who's one of the biggest Fallout 76 streamers. But they're and I don't know if they've asked Angry Turtle to do stuff. I don't know if they've asked like Survivalist to do stuff. But I don't see them as actively as I do the other ones. And like the community side of stuff. They're kind of like me in that aspect where I kind of keep to myself for the most part.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if Turtle's been. I mean, I know he's been like he's gotten stuff from Bethesda, but I don't think it's been. Yeah, because I think there's like he got a banner and stuff. I
Oh
mean,
no,
I know he's gotten some stuff, but I don't know if he's ever been other than saying I got this. Like I don't know if he's ever been on the hook to actually do anything in exchange for it.
yeah, I've not seen him do anything
I just
directly
don't
with
know.
them. I've seen him get
No.
stuff and get like the streamer or the YouTuber like loot, but I've not seen him really do stuff like
No.
that. Tougher for them because they're not UK based, but that has a factor in it. And Turtle is UK based. Turtle is actually in England.
Yes.
Eno,
Yes.
I don't know where Eno is, but Turtle um is on it. Turtle got invited to a Q&A on Twitch one time. I can't say I've seen that, but I do see Chad and Tonic do interact with them quite a bit in comparison. I have seen Chad and Tonic a few times with stuff. So that's stuff that I actively see. But that's the kind of thing. I don't know if there's any reason behind it or whatnot, but yeah, but the thing is, Mr. Free, just because Eno is French doesn't mean she's in France. So I don't know where she lives. Is what I'm saying. I know Turtle lives in England. I 100% know Turtle lives in England. I know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know where he is right now, but I know he's in England. Maybe.
Yeah. He says that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, Neely, thanks for popping in, man. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. I generally don't necessarily think it's to do with where people are, because the reality is, if, for example, Bethesda came to me and said, "Oh, we want you to come and do this Q&A and this thing, but it's 5 a.m. your time," the reaction would be simply, "I'll get some sleep beforehand, then, will I?"
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like, yeah,
It's
what time, where? I'm
it's
there. I
it's
mean,
not like I need to travel to the US to stream my face to a
right,
podcast or
right.
to a Q&A. So I don't think it necessarily is relevant where you are. I just don't know if there's a reason why specific people get an invite over others, is what I'd say. I mean, I know in some cases because you're a teeny streamer, or you've not got enough followers, that kind of thing. That is obviously always going to be a factor. But
Oh, for sure.
when you've got as many as Eno and Turtle, I'm surprised I don't see them more directly being interacted with by Bethesda. Um, that just seemed a bit strange to me. But it could literally be Twitter. Twitter could be a big factor because I know
Twitter.
Tonic and Chad especially, are really active on Twitter. Could be Twitch related. I don't know. I don't pay attention to who's on Twitch and what they're doing.
Could be what you have to do, right? Like it could be you have to agree not to ask certain questions, or you have to agree not to, to toe the, basically you can't say anything negative, like, so I mean, it could be something like that. So
Well, yeah, it could be something like that, and I think that's a bad stance to take, because while there's a lot of people that say negative things about Fallout 76, I mean, I'd say plenty of negative things about it.
right.
But you need the negativity.
Oh, of course.
This is a thing when it comes to any thing. You don't want everybody to be yes men. You don't want everybody to tell you this is perfect, this is great, this is fantastic.
Right.
Because when something's going wrong
You don't
and
know.
you can't figure out why, and you ask everybody, why is the ship sinking? And they all go, no idea. You want that guy to go, because there's a big fucking hole over here.
Right. Yeah.
So you need the
Of course.
you need negativity in like a space of this game, for example, because you need to know where it's going wrong in order to make it better. If everybody goes, this is perfect, we're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to improve.
Right.
If everybody said this was perfect, we wouldn't have got Wastelanders. And I know, Mr. Free, you're going to go, I preferred robots everywhere. But emphatically, most people disagree. Isn't she
And to
hooked
be-
up with that data miner? I know that I know there is a data miner that is very yeah. He's very to
They collaborate a lot.
Yeah. Like they collaborate, and he posts a lot of stuff, and he's usually got her logo in it. So I mean, I need a data miner. I need a data. See, there he is.
We don't want
He's
to. We
got
don't
the
want to
angry
speculate
faces.
on relationships. I don't.
Oh no, I
think
don't.
about that.
I have no idea. I literally know very little about Survivalist other than her news videos that she pops up with, and that quite typically the data miner has her logo on on his stuff when he uploads it, because I'm sure I follow him on Twitter, because his data mining stuff pops up quite a lot in my feed.
Yeah, and I wasn't. And just to be clear, I wasn't saying that would be why. When I was saying that Bethesda doesn't want anything negative, and that would be what. Like, I don't know. I was just speculating that could be a reason why. I have no idea.
I don't think that's untrue. I don't think it's untrue. From my experience, that when you're negative about their stuff, they kind of clam up a little bit.
And he loves Fallout. I mean, that's the thing. He is Fallout, but he will not hesitate to put their feet to the fire when they do things wrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how he launched his channel. His channel was all, okay, well, I did this, a vault raid, and now I have no inventory. And I'm not getting any response from them. And so he went online and made videos about it. And that's, and that's how he got it resolved, and that's how he launched his channels.
The out of context quote of the day from Mr. Free: "The absolute empty and desolated world was awesome." Just Mr. Free, #1 supervillain in the chat.
Right.
Burn
he's on his volcano island plotting a return to desolation. And,
he's loading up the nukes, getting ready for the fallout. That's why he's been hoarding all the stuff.
Best kind of world.
No people.
No people. His head is like twice as big as a normal person's head. He's surrounded by robot servants on his volcano island.
I like how Flakes is like, bro, I'll feed you the data mines. Just the image of me sitting there, and Flakes comes along with a little grape of data mined information. I'm like,
You got like fig leaf branch wrapped around your head. You're laying on a couch in a toga, and he's just feeding you little bits of information.
I mean, Flakes, if you want to do that, I am more than happy to accept that kind of stuff. I am really bad at finding crap, especially since I'm making like videos constantly and doing stuff, so it does make it awkward for me to find stuff. So any data mined information you want to pass along onto the Discord server would be appreciated. I'm sure everybody here would love that as well.
Sure, I love data mine stuff.
You love DM'd stuff. And I forgot to say hello to Genkai, who is clearly in the chat.
Hello, Genkai.
You said the secret word, so it was time for me to enter the channel.
Oh, I didn't even hear you come in.
What secret word did I say?
Deep hole.
Deep hole. Yes.
Then it's the queue, huh?
Oh, okay. Active players. Yeah, that's just
Hello, everybody. Hello, chat. I hope everybody's doing fine today on this marvelous Father Day.
It's a Father Day. Kevdoit doesn't mind ridiculing Bethesda, but got invited. I think Kevdoit is quite big, though.
He's like, huge, right?
Kev is huge, yeah. And he makes ridiculous things of everything.
Yeah, he's big. He is like several 100,000 subscribers. So I think it comes down to
822,000.
Yeah.
So he's kind of big.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, it's more a case of reach with him. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Turtle's got a very impressive reach. He has reach and flexibility.
Plus he's concentrated. I mean, Turtle's concentrated. Like his reach is all Fallout, whereas I don't know if Kevdoit he's other things, right? So, yeah.
Wait, I don't remember ever seeing non-feral ghouls in 76. Are you kidding me, Tachanka? There's one at the Wayward. There's fucking one at oh god, where is it?
There's one in the crater. I mean,
there's
Lou, you have to actually go do the quest to actually find him.
Mm-hmm.
Then so you can get into the vault.
Then there's the Hornwright's lassie that helps you activate during the thingamajig quest. So there's plenty of non-feral.
Riding shotgun. There's one.
Yeah. I'm sure there's one. No, there's loads of them. There's not as many in other Fallout games, don't get me wrong, but there's also the doctor that you can randomly find sitting somewhere. I'm trying to remember
in the Toxic Valley. Yeah, she's up in the Toxic Valley under like a tent, under a canopy tent. looking at soil samples or
I-
something like
I
that.
think, Tachanka, they are rare on the basis that if you think of Fallout 4, Fallout 3, and all that,
Yeah,
there's loads of feral ghouls there for one very specific reason. Most of them have been feral ghouls for several hundred years.
right.
Like, the game is, like, and they're basically immortal to an extent. So the amount of people that become feral increases over time. So
Okay.
by the time you get to the point that you get to Fallout 4, yeah, there's hundreds of feral ghouls, thousands of feral ghouls. Whereas we're only 20 years after the fact, so there's less people. Most people that, you know, were out when the bombs were obliterated or became feral ghouls. So I think it's based on the time since the bombs originally dropped. Hey Dale, how you getting on, man?
Plus, I think Fallout 76 just generally just the Appalachia just has less radiation than some of the other settings for the other games, just in general.
Oh, Kev Dewitt's interview was entirely scripted. I mean, what's the fun in that? I can't keep to a script.
What's the price of your soul?
I literally write scripts for my videos, and I swear to God, I try and read them out. If I release the outtakes from my videos that I try and script, you would see me say the same thing 60 times in a completely different way every single time, and me going at the end of it, oh fuck, that doesn't sound right. No, fuck that. Fuck this. Fuck that. I can't read a script. I would be a terrible actor. I'd be ad-libbing constantly. Literally, I just cannot say something in the same way more than once. It's really strange. I don't understand it. And I literally, so one day I've looked through my outtakes and I'm just like, I've got something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my brain.
That's funny.
Save me now.
Script my script. I definitely think I script my script.
Yeah, multiple times.
Mr. Free, I hate to break the news to you, but you just wrote down DPS. I have not ever written down a single thing. That counts as writing something down. Mr. Free's lost his mind.
It's getting to him then after nuclear world with all the
Right.
robots.
All these people. The world was so much better without people.
Thank you for the sub, Kinger5542. Welcome to the channel. How are you getting on? If you're in here, obviously. If you're not, I don't know. Sending you good thoughts. No, I don't think that's good thoughts. I think that's like, I'm coming to get you. Like a creepy villain from some old Halloween movie. Scooby-Doo villain. That's the one. Scooby-Doo villain. Chili.
Too many people.
I think I've just proved that Mr. Free is a robot and his brain just went...
He's Mr. House.
Mr. House wasn't a robot.
No, well, he was. Oh, I guess he wasn't, right? He was a body
He's a television screen piloted by the corpse of Mr. House.
Right.
Like, literally, like, human body tethered to a robotic bed. Mr. Free didn't write anything down, he typed it down. Semantics, Tachanka.
He typed it in, right?
Tachanka, that's semantics. I mean, most people don't write anything down these days, but when you're a writer and you write a novel, quite often they do it on a PC, so, you know, semantics.
Right.
It's literally semantics.
Yes.
And if you're gonna like fucking talk to anybody about semantics, yeah, you're not gonna win against me with that. He was a raisin that interacted through computers. Yeah, Mr. House was a very old raisin that decided to run a casino. Or several casinos, technically. Laser-powered casinos, which is awesome. I mean, I want a laser-powered casino one day, but I don't know if the wife will let me.
There's not a problem that can't be solved with 35% more lasers.
35% more lasers and a platinum chip.
Platinum chip.
Still doesn't, like, I genuinely can't fathom why specifically he needed that chip made for him. Like,
Yeah, the whole you just don't poke holes in it. I mean, don't poke that.
Well, I know, but
Don't pull
it's
that
like
thread,
you
right?
would
Yeah.
have thought he would have been able to make it himself.
Right. Well, and he wouldn't have to have it come in from where did it come in from? California?
I mean,
I don't remember the
it's a
backstory of the courier,
MacGuffin.
right?
The platinum chip is a MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, it
in
is.
every sense of the word, but it's a good MacGuffin. I like the idea of it, but it
Oh,
doesn't
for
make
sure.
a huge amount of
Well, and it
sense.
fits in. I mean, the fact that it's it's Vegas and it's a chip, and yeah, I mean, so it's because chip will be it has the dual meaning, the computer chip or the casino chip. So yeah, it actually works really well.
As a
in
MacGuffin,
that.
it certainly does. I mean, it's a very mind blowing MacGuffin.
Future
Heyo.
expeditions. I would say Washington D.C. probably would be a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I think maybe even Point Lookout might be a place that they decide to go to.
Yeah,
There's
I don't know, but
also
there's no well, I guess for me there's so the pit actually had kind of a civilization where Point Lookout really didn't. It was just a bunch of hillbillies and monsters. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, how is that any different? Like hillbillies interacting with each other, clans of hillbillies just roaming around, eating
Right,
each other's sweet, delicious, soylent flesh.
right.
I mean, I think you could build expedition around that. I certainly think you
You
could.
could. Oh,
I
I'm
think
sure you could. I'm sure you could.
I'm fairly certain they built an expansion around
Yep, that's true. They built one.
it.
That's true.
I definitely think that's possible to do. I mean, you could
I
also
don't know.
have a alien one. Like you could literally have a mothership Zeta style one where you go to the fucking mothership and just mow down aliens.
Well, we already have aliens in the game, so yeah, it wouldn't be
Yeah,
that big of a stretch at all.
there's also
That would have been so cool if when they brought the aliens, they actually had some event that actually, you got sucked up into the ship and, it's like they did more with it, like the random encounters. Like that would be kind of cool if they did that with random encounters. When the alien event is going on, you could actually get abducted just wandering around Appalachia and you're on a ship and it's this whole other thing. Like that would have been amazing.
I heavily endorse the idea of it being a location entirely new to us, Flakes. I would love that. I mean,
Oh,
new
for
stuff is
sure.
always good. Though the problem with them making a location that's entirely new to us is they can't just make it an expedition. They have to make an expedition that goes to it and explores crap, but then actually give us the map expansion. Because
Right.
you
Which would be
can't
great.
add something like that to the game and not actually explore the place. Like, you can't do that with something new. With a pit, you can add it because we've been to the pit before. We know roughly what happens in the pit, what's going to happen in the pit. We don't with this new random place. Unless, and this is a very big unless, an unless for the future, unless they bring it in Fallout 5 and explain it. But that's going to be fucking 10 years off. I'm probably going to be wearing adult fucking nappies and soiling myself by that point. I mean, Wiggle's already there.
Oh, well, that's how I can stay in front of the computer so long. I had less trips to the bathroom.
But no, that's yeah, well, exactly. Less I mean, there's probably lots of people wearing adult nappies out there, playing the game.
Right.
Hey Julius, how are you
Right.
getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. Point Lookout would be brilliant. Fallout 4 mod was fantastic. Yeah, I definitely think Point Lookout would be a cool one. I mean, there's unlimited possibilities with expeditions,
New stuff would be cool.
but new
Just, like,
stuff
give
they
us
need
new
to
stuff.
explain, they need to flesh it out, they need to actually make it something.
Give us a quest, not just expeditions. Don't give us expeditions and call it a quest. Give us quests. Even if it is a one time, and then add repeatable content around it. But give us like a one-time thing that we can do, like that's a story and everything, and then give us repeatable stuff around that. But
Yeah.
the whole Anyway, soapbox away.
It all just depends on what happens. There's so many things that they could do. It's more a question of what's feasible for them to do.
What are they willing to do?
Yeah, what are they willing to do? Because
It-
God
it-
knows.
It's just like they just. I mean, like from the time this game came out, actually, I think from the time it was conceived, there's been this disconnect between what people want and what they think we want. and so that there's always that of just like, well, I mean, think of it like, I mean, I think the ammo converter is a perfect example of that, right? It's like, oh god, we got all this ammo. It'd be great if we could do something with it. Oh, here's an ammo converter, and you're like, great, that's awesome. And they give it to you, and you go to use it. You're like, what the fuck were they thinking with this? It's like, okay, have they ever even used a computer before, let alone played this game? I mean, come on, like it was like the worst thing ever. But it seems like and it's the same thing with like perk loadouts, right? Like people wanted to be able to like switch on the fly. Like I want to just like go and hit a button, hit a thing, a key, and switch to a different loadout while I'm, like say I'm going in a silo, right? So it's like, okay, where's my hacking and lock picking loadout? I just hit a switch. But no, they give us perk loadouts, which is better than what we had before. At least we don't have to pay to switch perks around. But it's not quite what people wanted, right? What people wanted was the ability, what mod, because people use mods for that. They have mods that let them just switch different loadouts on the fly, and so it's like, and again, a disconnect between what we want and what they think we want. So.
Hey Cyclismo, welcome to the stream, man. How are you getting on? Perhaps they will go to the village in China that apparently hosts our simulation, according to either Mama Dolce's or Enclave Bunker. Apologise for broken grammar or inaccuracies. I mean, that, like, Chinese content would be awesome. I mean, if we did an expedition, and don't get me wrong, I think that would be a very long fucking flight, but if we did, like, an expedition to, the remnants of the Chinese... But I don't even know what the size of China is in the Fallout universe, because by the sounds of it, they're probably a lot bigger than they currently are. Massive expansion kind of type thing, in the way that Russia is the size it is in our world. It would be interesting to see what China and Fallout looks like, because we don't really know. We know they kind of have the Soviet aesthetic to them. But we don't actually know what China would look like pre-war or post-war. And I'm very interested in that. I think that's a very, very cool aspect that they could bring in via some sort of expedition and or map expansion. But again, I don't think they're going to do it for 76, because I think it's a bit too much work and the game's already a spaghetti-fied monster already. Hey Brian, how are you getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. Ammo converter is not worth the frustration. Oh, the fucking ammo converter certainly is not worth the frustration. I think they just need to basically let us just chuck everything into it and then just fucking get what we want out right away.
I can proudly say I hate that thing with a passion, and I will never use it again.
I think we should put it down like we did old Yeller.
Yeah. That crap out of here.
I want Fallout to stay in the US because of the social commentary. Really, it's not all obvious, but if you played 1 and 2, you know what I mean. That said, expansions are cool. Well, I think the main meat of the game should definitely reside in the US mainland. I mean, the real pull of the game is the aesthetics of the kind of 1950s style of things, but in the future. But at the same time, I don't think it harms the game by, like, Fallout 5 having a, Red Menace expansion where you go and blow up some sort of Chinese Liberty Prime. Knockoff Liberty Prime. Soviet Prime. I mean, something like that would be cool. Todd said that they do not want to go out of the US territories. That is in the lore. They do not want to... Like, that isn't lore. If it's Todd going, I don't want to go out of the US. That's just Todd saying things. And
Todd doesn't want to get arrested in China.
And I'll be honest. Do you remember the time Todd said it just works? I don't really 100% trust the shit that comes out that man's mouth. But yeah, it's very much a case of, it's Todd. I take what he says with a fucking bucket of salt. An actual huge bucket of salt. Wish Prime. Just Liberty Prime bought off Wish. The Alibaba Prime. Instead of lasers, it fires like fucking. Well, it fires lasers, but it's literally the ones you use to make your cat run around the house like a fucking psychopath. Communism will never fail.
Oh, you need to use lasers for that? My cat is crazy of its own.
Well, I mean, that's because you feed it a lot of nip nip, bud.
Oh, no, no. If we want to talk Nip Nip, you're the Lord and Savior here of Nip Nip. Huh?
Hey, I was framed.
No, yeah, you can say that all the time.
I was fucking framed, and the space
good.
pigs decided to fuck me up.
The space pigs got you.
I just want a mama liberator. Like, just a giant liberator that fires liberators. It's like a gun that fires guns.
Well, you got that in Borderlands.
Well, that,
A
basically.
gun that fires guns.
Gun squared. Theoretically, Fallout can exist anywhere. There's a strong, well-known culture to satirize. No one heard that. It's hard to say Fallout can only ever be in the US when people haven't tried going outside of it. Well, that's the thing. It's the two countries annihilated each other. That is for certain. And the Chinese are still active, at least from what we can see in Fallout 76. Because, I mean, we've got an entire fucking bunker filled with them, and they're spying on everybody in Appalachia, apparently. So there has to be a point at which, you know, they all get slaughtered. Or
spy on them.
Well, yeah, there has to be something going on. Why they're all specifically ghouls slightly worries me, but, you know, that is what it is. I mean, I know that the reason they're all ghouls is because they're down in that fucking, in the depths?
Yeah,
next to the radioactive ass bunker. Why would Communist Prime say? What would Communist Prime say instead? Red Menace, like the used version of it. I honestly think he would probably just yell about communism being the only way. Deaf to America. Oh wait, no, you don't want him saying that. Just him going, Lenin was really cool. Stalin was right. This is the thing, in the Fallout universe, we don't really know anything about we know they're communists, but we don't know if they're communists in the same sense that Soviet Russia was communist, because it is basically just them using Soviet Russia as a thing, but they've just replaced it with China. But we don't know the history of the Soviets. It could be completely different. It could have originated from China in their universe, for all we know. We don't know the actual history of everything. At what point does it diverge from normal history? So it's hard to say what happened. The cancelled Fallout Extreme had some crazy details on China, but they've been overrun post-war by Taiwan or some such. That's pretty cool. Taiwan overrunning China and making knockoffs of their liberators. The emasculators.
Emasculate.
It's like a liberator, but it just goes for the groin. Just literally tries to castrate you.
Taiwan #1.
They had that. Yeah, exactly that. 50s, 60s, no transistors. So yeah, like 50s, 60s. When did communism happen in Russia? Like that was World War One era, or prior to that?
Don't know.
So in theory, then Soviet communism follows the same path. So there'll be things like they'll, in theory, worship Lenin and all that kind of thing. In theory. A game no.
I guess.
Demonetized.
Yes. No idea, to be honest.
Well, I know it has to be prior to World War II because the Soviets fought against the Nazis.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if it was after World War One or before World War One, because it was when the Tsar and all his family were brutally deposed. Let's say. So it was after World War One. I thought it might have been, because I'm fairly sure the Tsars and all that were still, well, the Tsar was still about at that point. I'm just stopping by to leave a comment and drop a like. Thank you very much for the like and the comment and the rainbow of hearts. He's
Rainbow
lurking.
heart.
He's the master lurker. They
Who
tried
is
to
it?
keep the USSR alive until the mid 90s, 80s, 90s. Yeah, when the Berlin Wall came down.
Yep.
1917. That's an exact date. That works. We'll go with that. I've got an itchy ear. But yeah, it's that kind of way where you don't know how China functions as a communist state. We know more about like how America is, but we don't know anything about really China. So it's a hard thing to like the communism for them could be different than the communism we are aware of. Probably not. Probably exact like carbon cutout of it, but we don't know enough about that part of the world in the game. So it's a massive amount of lore and information that we're missing. We're literally only got half the story, in theory. I'm not going to say it again. Either way, I thought, well, first off, we'll say hello to everybody that's in the chat. I know there's quite a chunk of people in here now in comparison to what we had at the beginning. So thank you all for joining us. We have been chatting Fallout, but there is other things we can chat about. So if you have any topics that you'd like to talk about outside of Fallout, even in Fallout, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe, all that usual crap. But I also have a couple of little prepared things that I was looking at earlier. And it's just stuff about gaming that I found funny. So apparently, and I'll double check that's on the screen, a developer is banned from its game's own Steam forum for flaming other users. I find this hilarious. Like, they're literally banned from their own forum on Steam. So it's a developer has been banned from its game on its own Steam forum, repeatedly violating the platform's discussion rules and guidelines. Developer Dolphin Barm Incorporated, which caught the eye of the shared a screenshot of his ban on Twitter, which said, "This is the second time that one of your posts violates our discussion rules and guidelines. We also noticed a trend with abusive messages sent when banning players from your hub when posting any content in your community communication with players. Please make sure it adheres to guidelines." I just find that hilarious that a developer is getting banned from their own forums. So I'm bringing it up on screen now. I forgot to do that because I keep forgetting I need to press a button. So yeah, Dolphin Barn. I mean, I'm trying to find what their game is on this, because I genuinely don't know what game it's for. That's not either PC notes. The developer is also in hot water for the way it responds to negative reviews on Steam, which reference their extreme views on transgender people and toxic masculinity. What the fuck? We also want to make it clear you should not reverse stream moderator decisions or enable rule violations on your hub. It added future disregards. So I'm really tempted to go into this potential rabbit hole. So let's find the developer Dolphin Barn and find out what game they made. So essentially,
just try to avoid showing posts of the guy because it's probably.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not gonna go to posts. I just want to see
what game it is.
they
I'm
make.
interested at all.
So let's find out. So it's Domina. So it's a gladiator simulator type game. I'm not going down into the comments. I'm not doing anything like that. So basically, they've started yelling at people who are leaving negative reviews for the game. And they are basically flaming anybody that gives them any critique. This is a kind of thing I find hilarious, because if you guys don't like my videos, if you think there's something wrong with my stuff, I actively encourage you all to to basically do it. I'm going to bring up Steam in a second. I'm just... Oh no, I've got it up already. Never mind. I forget that it was working that way. But I actively encourage you guys to criticize me. And the reason for that is I can't improve if I'm doing something wrong. If something is not right about my videos, if there's something not right about my content, I want each and every one of you to pull me up about it. Because I don't, again, this goes back to our conversation earlier about yes men and Fallout 76. Yes men don't make things better. They keep things the way they are, and with something not working, it's not gonna do it. So don't be an asshole, and don't start shouting at people that are criticizing you. Don't get me wrong, if they are being dicks, and they are being dicks in a very dickish way, you're absolutely fair to criticize people. But it really does depend on if you're doing it in a fair kind of manner. But this doesn't seem like it's a case. It seems like the developer just went fucking rogue and decided to just fucking go like a complete psychopath, like Donald Trump, just going, I'm gonna fucking shout at these little bastards for criticizing my videos. I've been saying I think Fallout is a prediction by now. Oh, maybe it is, Tachanka. I've been saying that since I played Fallout first. No, your content sucks. I hate everything you do and all that stuff. Yes, Mr. Free, very convincing. Very, very, very convincing. We all believed every word of it.
100%.
10 out of 10 would say again. But yeah, I find it very strange that I just find it strange that anybody criticizes you, your immediate reaction is to go fucking nuts on them. Because don't get me wrong, people criticize me in my videos fairly often is the wrong word, but often enough. But if somebody leaves just a comment like, you're a dick, it's like, okay, so are you. Like, I'm not afraid to stand up for myself when people are saying things that just completely blatantly aren't true. Like, one guy literally said during one of my videos at one point, you took the Lord's name in vain, you're a terrible parent. I was like, you've just stepped over a line, you dick.
Wait a minute, not true. What do you mean? So you're saying you're not a dick? What?
Oh no, I am a dick. I'm 100% a dick.
Tell them every day, no worries.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you have to be a little bit of a dick these days. If you're not, you just don't survive. Or you end up going on Twitter and complaining that everybody's oppressing you.
Right. Right.
One or the other. But that's the kind of thing. I think in this day and age, you kind of have to take criticism. It's something that's
how you get better.
Exactly. And I think everybody should take that to heart. People criticizing you aren't necessarily putting you down. Don't get me wrong. If people are criticizing you and there's no point of it to, like, this is how you can improve, they're just going, you're fucking terrible and you should feel bad and you should fucking kill yourself. If people are saying that, you don't need those people in your life. But if people are saying, this is what you've done wrong, this is something that you could improve on, then that's fine. Saying that you need to improve on this is perfectly fine. I mean, for example, Wiggle, your stream the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, you did really well.
Oh, thank you.
You did fantastic. You were chatting with people. You were quite consistent with it. There was a couple of times where you weren't reading chat as consistently and directly addressing people, but you kept talking, and you kept talking about what you were doing, what you were thinking, and that's a big factor. That's a big factor about streaming. And I'm by no means a massive streamer. Let's be honest. I mean, if I was a massive streamer, there wouldn't be 30 odd people in here. There'd be several hundred or thousand. So I can't literally say this is exactly how you do things, but everybody starts somewhere, and for a start, you did incredibly well. And I would have said that if I was just to click on it randomly, I wouldn't have said that was your first stream. Wholeheartedly, you did really well.
Well, and I had a lot of help. I mean, and I know you weren't able to see the whole thing, but I did actually, I gave some shout outs, and you were one of them. Like you've helped me tremendously. Just the amount of time you've given me, letting me, talk on your streams. Like that's practice. I mean, even though I'm not driving the bus, it still helps with eating comfortable. But I mean, you've just given me like, more than people know. Like you've given me so much time, so much feedback, and so much really good advice, and that has been helpful. Plus, watching you, like, because you do interact with the chat, and I see you make it a priority when you do stream, and I pay attention to that, and so I did make an effort. But yeah, I do know there was parts I missed, and also there was parts where I was like replying to the chat, but I wasn't like reading the chat. And so like if you're watching it and you're not seeing the chat, you're seeing me answer a question, but you don't know what the question is. So I mean, yeah, I did see parts where I, definitely where I can improve. But yeah, I do appreciate the comments, and I do appreciate all the help you've given me.
Well,
So much.
At the start of streaming, you are going to have you're going to struggle to get things perfect, because everybody struggles to get anything perfect ever. But
Of
no,
course.
it is. Apparently, Flakes said the latest data mines are on the Discord, so thank you to Flakes for that. Let's catch up
sweet.
with the
Let's
chat
look
a little
now.
bit. I like talking to people, and you're establishing a very nice community. I think you don't have much to worry about. I hope that's the case, Julius. It's been a big thing for me that I want a slow build up with my community, rather
here
than
we
a
go.
sudden meteoric rise, because you inevitably get a lot of trolls and a lot of douchebags with that. Don't get me wrong, I have been slowly deleting the douchebags from existence, and that's when I say deleting the douchebags from existence, I mean people that just came in and started doing horrible things, immediately going from "you're a dick" and then just, and I'm putting that in very mild words. Like last stream, I think. Oh no, it was a stream last week. This stream last week, there was a guy who just kept posting really weird stuff that Genkai and Wiggle got rid of pretty quick. Let's see. Well, a dick needs to be insulted. It does. Though I read that as insulated. It also needs to be insulated as well.
And punched, right?
Definitely.
Punched as
You don't
well.
wanna
Number
call
one
dick.
thing I don't agree with you and Wiggle about is the importance of Fallout First. Surfer, that's absolutely fine. That I fucking hate Fallout First.
I hate it.
I'm the
Actually-
first person to say I do not want to have to rely on it. But for me, in terms of content creation and things like that, the amount of storage I have and the things for the weapons that I make and keep, I can't afford to waste my space with fucking resources. So I can understand it from a day-to-day gameplay point of view. If you're just playing this game normally, you're keeping a kind of modest amount of stuff, and you play, and honestly the game is probably fun, more fun that way. But on my content creation point of view, it is vital for me to use the resources that I have at my hands, and I don't really pay for it. You guys watching my videos pays for it, so I can justify it that sense. But I totally agree, Fallout First is a fucking ripoff. 100%. Criticism I see as a good thing, because it means you can improve and learn more. Yeah, Tachanka, exactly. It's a dick, it's hideous. Seriously, that's the best strategy. Yeah, Julius, it's exactly what I've wanted to do. Fallout First is worth it for me. I'm a massive hoarder, and the scrap bins frees up so much space. Yeah, Schnizzle, that's exactly what I have it for. I think I've just skipped a load of fucking comments there. There we go. Let's see. Nope. I think I'd like scrolled past. Watched Mr. Matty the other day, and someone asked for timestamps. Next video, bingo. Timestamps is something I did originally do in a lot of my earlier like script videos, and I say earlier, maybe mid script videos. It didn't really do anything. It didn't increase watch time, it didn't do X, Y, and Z. So the problem with timestamps is, in long form format content, I think that works quite well. I don't know what Mr. Matty's videos are, I'll be honest. In longer form content, I definitely think timestamps help, but my videos are typically like anywhere between 5 and 10, 12 minutes. If you need timestamps for that, I think your attention span's taking a little bit of a hit. But I did use timestamps before, and literally no one really used them or cared about them. And I do mean I have hundreds of videos with timestamps in them, which is kind of annoying to do. It's literally really, really annoying to do these kind of things every video.
A lot of work, right? To do timestamps.
No, it's not a lot of work. It's literally not a lot of work.
Okay.
It's a case of putting like a time and putting notes on it, but it is tedious. Tedious is the word. Time consuming, difficult, no. Tedious. Especially when I usually do videos, I upload a batch of them in about 9-10 videos. So it'd be me doing that and then going in and getting the exact timestamps for each thing. It is tedious. But in a longer form video, I'd definitely be open to it. If anything, in a longer form video, I probably would do it exclusively.
I just encourage people to skip through your stuff.
Well, it kind of does, but it gets people to what they want to watch. And that, in turn, like if somebody switches off really quickly, like think of the people that watch a video for 30 seconds. If they click the timestamps, then you might get another 10 seconds out of them, you might get another 20 seconds out of them. I did not see an improvement on the videos based on what I did, and I did hundreds of them like that. Peak wholesome. I don't use Fallout first. I mean, it is literally everybody's different about it. Dad, if there are several hundred views, I feel like you would speak with chat less. Tachanka, if there were several hundred and or thousand people in the chat, yes, I would probably speak with the chat less, but that would probably be because there would be so much chat, but I'd put it in slow mode. So you guys would be able to chat less. So I don't know how it would work. I genuinely don't know how it would work.
I saw a Let's Play the other day from Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and they were exactly talking about this subject. That it's very hard to stay, to return to the wholesome community that you've tried building up in the start once you actually boom out, like when you go massive.
Well, that's the thing, to become a professional YouTuber streamer, you don't need to go massive. You don't need to go insane. To end up being a fucking multi-millionaire, yeah.
Yeah, but they were talking about trying to get back to that and also having going back to the community. It's hard.
I have 4 active tunes, 1 mute. No, I'm just gonna skip through because I think most of that I've read now. I'm up to 4 characters now. Storage is a pain. Yes, Sean. I've got 5 characters. Storage is very much a pain. 2 of my characters are like perpetually full, and I'm constantly trying to get rid of stuff. My mule can literally not move because of 800 pounds of plans, 15 pounds of armor, 20 power armor frames. Yeah, I've got a mule like that on another account, Mr. Free.
I don't even keep plans anymore. Only if it's extremely rare. Other than that, straight up on the floor.
Mr. Free is a true collector. It's more scientifically known as... Oh, wrong camera. A hoarder. So you need an account. Yeah, you do need another account, Julius. 100%. Slow mode doesn't work with hundreds of people. I know, Tachanka, but it doesn't necessarily not work. I think what tends to happen when you've got hundreds of people in the chat, or thousands of people in the chat, what tends to draw streamers' attentions tends to be... And that tends to be how they interact with their chat. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's a thing. Like, it's literally how it works at that point. So it kind of, yeah, it's difficult to be the same when you're a big name. I 100% know that is a thing. Not to say I don't want to be successful, but I think there's a kind of point where you maybe want to settle. You know, an even keel. I don't know. It's hard to say without physically going through it. Because let's be honest, I'm not big.
It's going to take a lot more effort to reach out, that's for sure.
I know. Your kilt says otherwise.
I know.
How dare you fucking bring up my fucking fat weight?
What, his guillotine?
How dare you bring up my war wounds?
That's the nickname for your kilt, right? Guillotine.
I suffered for your sins that evening. Literally.
Wasn't my sins. I was the one
it was
eating
everybody's
whatever you were
sins.
eating.
Cut me in half. Literally cut me in half that evening.
Yeah, it was a beautiful night. The memories are still fresh.
76 is free on Xbox, Mr. Free. I mean, it's not free, but you don't directly pay for the game. I mean, Game Pass isn't free.
It's included in your
it's-
Game Pass subscription.
It's not free, but it's also not, paying for the game technically. It's a technicality. So let's move on to a different topic. Again, we're back to the prepared things. So I'll just make sure I press the right button to get them to pop up, because, this stuff is hard. So yeah, apparently a Swedish gaming giant has bought the rights for the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit series in relation to games, films, and whatnot. So it's the company that owns the rights to J.R. Tolkien's work, including The Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, has been bought by the Swedish gaming group firm Embracer Group, which has hinted it could make spin-off films based on popular characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, and Gollum. Embracer has acquired Middle-earth Enterprises, the holding company that controls the intellectual property rights to film, video games, board games, merchandise, theme parks, and stage productions relating to Lord of the Rings. The deal also includes matching rights in other Middle-earth related literary works authorized by the Tolkien estate and HarperCollins, primarily the
Silmarillion.
and yes, that, and the Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth, which were published by after Tolkien's death in 1973. When the business has been put up for sale by Sol Zent Company, which I don't think that stuff is really relevant, and then Amazon paid money to make a big budget prequel to The Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to see if there's any new information. And I'm very tempted to look up Embracer here as well and find out who they are and what they do. Other opportunities include exploring additional movies. They made what?
Or what games they made.
Yeah.
The question.
Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, blah blah blah. So yeah, let's look up the Embracer Group. So let's see. Because that's something that's very relevant to my interests. Right. No, is that there? That's not good information. Let's see their wiki page. There must be a wiki page for these people. The original Nordic games. Right, so it's THQ Nordic, basically.
Okay.
So, THQ have made quite a lot of cool games. I'm trying to think of the specific ones, but on the top of my head, I can't remember anything specific. So let's go to THQ Nordic, and that should... God damn it. Ah, there we go. So, yeah. Darksiders was one.
Oh, that's
All
true.
right.
Well, Darksiders
Okay.
2 and Darksiders.
Did they make Darksiders 1 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's going to be amazing.
There's a lot of Spellforce games. That name is very familiar to me. So is Titan's Quest. There's a lot of fucking random games. They made Darksiders free as well.
Okay, that's good.
Red Faction.
I don't specifically know that game, but sure. But I know Darksiders was fucking amazing, 1, 2, and 3, so...
Hey, Kenobi, how you getting on, man? I'm trying to find... Destroy All Humans.
Oh, yeah. Fun game as well.
Yeah. Biomutant, which didn't get a huge amount of interest and things, but Biomutant is a thing. I'm fairly certain they made, like, WWE games, did THQ not?
Yeah.
I say WWE, WWF. Alone in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a lot of, like, well-known and great games in here. There's a lot of fucking random shit as well. But there is a lot of well-known games here. So what does everybody think about that? I mean, I think it's pretty cool that Lord of the Rings has potential for some new games coming out about it, and I love Lord of the Rings stuff. I love the spin-off stuff to an extent more than I like the original films. I'm not gonna lie, I keep falling asleep during the Two Towers. Like, legitimately falling asleep. I love all the lore and all that, but something about that movie just puts me to bed every time.
Wow. Yeah, I have all the extended versions on DVD, so it's been a while. But yeah, so they're all the extended versions will clock in, I think, at like 4 hours each. So yeah, if you fall asleep during the theatrical ones, I think the extended ones just kill you.
I didn't see the original Red Faction on it, but I think it was probably there, Mr. Free. THQ Nordic, Gearbox, Eidos, and Square Enix are the big ones. So they're all owned by the Embracer Group. So that means the people who make Final Fantasy, the people who fucking make Tomb Raider, and the people who make Borderlands. Is Borderlands still owned by Gearbox, or have they been bought out by some? Well, has that been bought by somebody?
100% Gearbox. They'll never. I don't think they'll ever change.
So, if the Embracer Group owns all of those companies, then that is some fucking seriously good companies for making games.
Yeah, coincidentally, in between, I'm playing Borderlands 3 right now, and I'm walking in the meme room where the skeleton falls into the pit, Lord of the Rings, you know.
I haven't played Borderlands 3. Thanks for spoiling it.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to delete it now.
Yeah, delete it.
Just delete it, and then just stare into your eyes as I do it. Yeah, I didn't think they'd sell the IP, but I was pretty much sure it was Gearbox, and I couldn't remember if Gearbox was bought out by anybody.
Have you
at any point?
Have you booted Borderlands 3 at some point?
I've not booted it up.
Okay.
I mean, I'm leaving that for when we get a group together to play it.
Just make a mental note right now. You'll notice when you boot up the game.
I will never boot up the game.
They have the commercial of like the AMD, Ryzen, blah blah blah. You know, and then you see the Gearbox one, and it will cement in your brain. It's so good. It's so funny.
I do like cement in my brain.
Yes, same.
But yeah, no, it's like the idea of Lord of the Rings getting some cool new games. I really enjoyed the Shadow of Mordor games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many of you played that with the Nemesis system and things like that. Like, Nemesis system is fucking brilliant. Obviously, they don't initially get the rights to that, because who is it that made Shadow of Mordor? Is it EA that made that?
I think it's EA, but I don't know for sure.
That actually sounds right. I think that's true.
Because I'm fairly certain they copyrighted the Nemesis system. Like, I'm 99.99999% certain they copyrighted that because of the way it worked.
I believe you. It's a good system, though.
Yeah, but that also probably means that they can't make those games anymore. I'd assume they've lost the license. Could be wrong.
I have no idea. We'll find that out at that point, I guess, right?
Let's see, who's it saying? Oh, it's Warner Brothers.
Okay.
That had the license to it. So, I'd assume Warner Brothers had the license to the movies. Were they Warner Brothers movies?
I think so.
But then they lost the license to it. So then, yeah, there will be no more Shadow of War games. Because they'll own the rights to Shadow of War, surely. Because it's their original story.
Maybe there will be a collab in the future or something.
Oh, it's EA owned then. I'm not seeing EA. No, that's Shadow of War. I'm looking for the wrong one, am I not? Shadow of Mordor is probably... Where the fuck is it? This is the problem when you look stuff up. It only gives you like half of the stuff you're looking.
You need to be so specific because the cesspool of the internet, the information keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And
it's still Monolith Productions and Warner Brothers on Shadow of Mordor as well. So yeah, it's all the same stuff. Yeah, it's in the game. More Resident Evil. Tachanka, I was going to stream more Resident Evil tomorrow. However, life is getting in the way, so that stream's probably not going to happen tomorrow. I can only apologise for that, but I might forgo playing Fallout 76 on Thursday and play Resident Evil instead, if people want me to. People will probably want me to play Fallout 76, but we'll see. But yeah.
No irony, but I kind of have my belly already full from that Meat Week crap.
Yeah, Meat Week is giving me a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I've not played much since Meat Week started, and I probably won't play much because of Meat Week, because I don't get anything out of it, and it keeps fucking popping up, and it's annoying.
And server stability. I would love to play.
Yeah, the game's running horribly.
Oh yeah, the game is running very. I think that those servers we were on, where it was just fucking flickering and everything was going.
Even if I wasn't playing, I would be in the game, like alt tab somewhere in Foundation, just chilling, or in my camp. But right now, no, forget about it.
I'm slightly concerned that Tachanka's holding the Shadow of War game in his hand for some reason.
It is a very fun game, like absolutely.
Meat Week is pretty annoying. I mean, Kenobi, you must be fucking struggling to walk 90% of the time now. 2 weeks of any of the events is to... Oh, yeah, 100%. I genuinely think that 2 weeks of Meat Week is more a punishment than making up for shit. Like, if it was 2 weeks of double XP, not a punishment. If it's 2 weeks of Meat Week, definitely a punishment.
If you still need perk points, yes. But if you're at the point where you don't need perk points anymore, and you're like, meh.
You need perk points.
I don't just go double XP at the beginning of the scoreboard instead of at the end of it when we're already done.
So yeah, Mr. Freeze popped up. It was Warner Brothers that did the Nemesis system for definite. So it wasn't EA in any way, shape, or form. We were mistaken. I knew somebody did it, and I was fairly certain that the way it was done scummily was typically an EA move, but turns out Warner Brothers is just as scummy.
Even General Kenobi is not playing.
Every time there's an event, the lag gets worse. Yes, the lag is pretty fucking horrendous.
It's starting to feel more as a job, like we're all together in Fallout, and now everybody has holiday at the same time, I'll see you next week, guys, once the shit is over at the water cooler on the second floor.
Oh, yeah. It's a struggle to play sometimes. It really is. For people like me, it's actually good. I can't play as much as I'd like, so I like the option to get a chance to get more rewards out of it. I can understand that point of view as well, Mr. Free. You get more bang for your buck while playing. You're also getting more content whilst you're playing. But on the flip side, it does make things more difficult because the server stability issues that the game suffers from is horrendous. And it makes sense why the game suffers, because if you go to any of the prime cuts areas and then you just see a pile of fucking clothes, meat, a stack of tins just floating there, it's obviously going to affect the server, because if the fucking capacity to your storage affects the server in an apparently drastic way, then why wouldn't 10 million items randomly spawning because people aren't picking this shit up? Because it's not like you can pick all the shit up.
Private servers really shine this week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, private servers will typically fine. Am I the only one that enjoys Meat Week? Bucket, we all enjoyed Meat Week 2 years ago.
Right, the first time.
Even like the second time. I loved the first Meat Week. I loved the second Meat Week. The third Meat Week, I was kind of like, eh. And then
like Foshnot. I mean, Foshnot was the same way. I loved my first Foshnot. It was so fun. But by the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I'm glad it's over. Oh, we're going to give you a second week. Oh, no.
If Foshnot comes around again, everybody is logging on. Everybody is helping me get that mask. Like, I'll nibble your toes, whatever I have to do, share my feed pictures.
I mean, it's a problem that Bethesda gives us something. It's like, well, if this amount is good, we'll give them enough to make it. They'll drive it into the ground, and that's the problem.
I think I think that Flake's got the crux of the problem. No new rewards to it.
Yes.
If there was a new reward, that would encourage me to do it. If
Oh
they
my
made
lord.
if they made some sort of cool drops that you could get from Prime cuts, like think if there was costume items that the Prime
sure.
bosses could drop
Right.
at a really rare rate, like not anything astronomically rare, but rare enough that it was an actual thing to get them. You'd want to go to these things, but Prime Cuts is just for getting script and or random pish.
Notes for some people.
It's just you can earn treasury notes, Dale. Really, I mean, I think by this point I've got enough treasury notes to last me the entire year.
I don't even have that much treasury notes, but I have like combined on my 3 characters I play over like 400 or 500 lunch boxes. So yeah.
They're breaking records on Xbox now with these servers. 4 arrows by Tam hopping is unreal. What?
No idea.
I'm missing. Like, I'm very confused.
Maybe it's team hopping. I
Oh,
think maybe
team
that's what
hopping.
you mean. Yeah, so you like kill it quick and then hop to another team where it's still going. And
I
then
mean,
kill it quick and hop to another team. Yeah,
if you can do that, that works.
That's been around forever.
But yeah, no, fucking hell. I have a sneaking suspicion that what rewards might have been added to it are getting injected into seasons or the atomic shop instead. Flakes, again, I'm fairly certain you're correct with that. I think a lot of the content that they're creating is getting forced and funneled into seasons. Or, in some cases, the atomic shop itself. But what we need is more solid rewards. We need more things like new weapons. We need, tangible things that we can, like balance. Balance is always a thing that we need. We need more tangible stuff.
Like it's all fun and games that they're working on the Atom Shop, but why do I need stuff for the Atom Shop when Nocturnal is trash, when Zealot is trash, when like 4 other roles are literally unusable for like please, like it has so much potential.
Yeah.
Like just by changing that or reworking that crap.
Remove and reallocate low to mid-tier plans, add new and place some of the older high drop rate plans to another drop pool. I mean, that would work as well, Matasbo, if they skip things around, put stuff into, like, for example, something you could buy from the vendors, like a meat week bundle thing that you could just, buy and create, like fill it with like one of every meat of different animals around Appalachia. And you could just buy that throughout the year, and then you get some of the shit plans from Meat Week from it. And you get like a drop rate on it, and then you get something out of it. There's loads of different things you can do. And
like the Meat Week equivalent of pails, you mean?
Kinda, like a Meat Week equivalent of pails, but they're always there, and you can always spend money on them if you want. And yeah, you get stuff pretty quickly, but you could add in some unique rewards in it, like a specific set of food items that give certain buffs that you can only get from this pail. Like there's other things they could do in order to make it more palatable in a sense, and then you could open room for other kind of things. But they need to change it up, and that's the real problem with Meat Week. They haven't changed it up. They haven't done anything with it. I mean, they could add.
Pepper Shaker was the last thing they added. When was that? Was that a year ago, or was that more? That was a year ago, right? Or
yeah,
more?
It was at least a year ago. At least I think it was a year ago when Meat Week happened the previous year, but I don't think it happened at like a year apart. It's kind of like it's more than a year by a fair chunk. Obviously now, because we've had like how many months was it since Meat Week was meant to have went on?
It was supposed to be March, I want to say, or April. It was either March or April.
So I think it was longer. I think it was longer or less than a year from March, but I don't know how long it was here. So yeah, it's very strange. Because the events don't seem to always fall on the same date, from what I remember. They kind of differ.
It's kind of all over the place. There's not really like a specific time set in between specific things. Like some games have like every updates every 6 months, every 6 weeks. They do have a specific timeline in when expansions do release, but they're kind of off lately as well.
See, the problem with eviction notice animal is that everybody has too many legendaries
The problem is
at the
that
moment.
it's too good. Like we all looking for script for to put in the machines, blah blah blah. But if you look at comparison, how much you get from that specific event and from any other event except Radiation Rumble, then those two are most definitely so far on top and like distinguished guests. Like what are we?
Oh yeah, we need a whole new event revamp to kind of shake things up. Events that aren't working need either rewards added to them that make them worth doing, or they need to just be taken out of the game and reworked altogether. Distinguished Guest is a complete boner killer.
Yeah, how they added like what was it, Nuclear Winter Rewards to the triple threats, the best 3 events in the game, like.
Well, I mean, people would disagree with that. Oh, no, actually, what Queen Earl? What was the last one you were going to say?
Project Paradise.
I mean, you say the big 3.
I'm pretty sure
one considers
too as well.
No one considers Project Paradise one of the big 3.
It's actually one of the best rewards you can get in the game, though.
It's one of the best events, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean people consider it the big 3.
No,
like, most people hate
they
that event.
added Nuclear Winter Rewards to most of those top of the line events, I'll call them then. If they would do that, like with all the events, people would stand in line for fucking distinguished guests.
Oh yeah, if they gave
Any
like
reward,
a load of rare skins,
doesn't give you any reward.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't give you.
Well, even when
Treasury
it's working,
notes,
even when it was working, it didn't give you anything worth doing it for.
No. It's because it's just so it's an awful event.
But even the side events, the defend the robot, whatever the hell it's called, and shoot down the flying.
Right.
Fly swatter.
It's a trap. All that kind of all that kind of stuff.
They have a chance to drop some cool stuff. 100%.
Yeah, they have a chance, and it's already better than like events that are considered higher on the list, like distinguished guests.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm just now looking at the data mine stuff that Flakes popped. That set for like wall. Well, I'm not sure. Is that like a barricade or whatnot? That looks pretty cool. It's like a little castle wall set. That's pretty awesome looking.
Tickets in the general chat. Oh, that stuff. Yeah, I saw that. That's really cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think I hope that is the scoreboard thing, because it's not the same as the wall we saw the other day in the Fusion Core scam sale thing.
No, it wasn't. I don't think we've seen walls in that, did we?
We did.
No, well, we've seen that building set, but that's
the
like
building set looks awesome. It has so much stuff in it.
But it's not a building set. That looks like
what, prefabs or something?
Well, not prefabs. Prefabs. Well, it could be a prefab, in fact.
Enno did a video on it actually. I think it was today or yesterday that came out. And it basically went over that set or that bundle, and it's like the building. Like if you're a builder, that's like it's a lot of stuff for you. If you're not a builder, like there's no reason at all to. I mean, yeah.
They're doing a lot of medieval style stuff in September. It's Atomic Shop right now, anyway. No, I definitely like the medieval castle style wall kit. It looks really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of spooky camp builds out there as well that would love this.
Mm-hmm. But no, it'll be interesting to see what we see. Sean, if you're asking what bundle, the bundle is in the Discord server in the Fallout 76 general chat, so you'd need to pop over there to see it.
And the Discord's
Alrighty, Jules, thanks for popping in. We'll see you later.
Goodbye, Mr. Jules.
Goodbye, Jules.
What are those guys? Jesus Christ. What's a thick shield? What the fuck is that?
I like
Never mind.
I like that Genkai's just like fucking shit himself and having the war wiggles.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely having
Right.
the war wiggles. Like I'm telling you, like end game, this crap is different, man.
It's just different. So
Yeah, it's different.
now this is one that this is a thing that Bubba posted to me earlier in the chat Discord for tonight. And it's a game that's apparently coming out in the near future that apparently combines Destiny 2 with Fallout in a multiplayer survival shooter, Earth Revival. Now, I've not looked at anything, so this is all going to be something
Yeah, that looked interesting. That looked interesting.
I tried to save it so you could get a reaction out of it live. So yeah, Destiny 2 brings dungeons, the raids, the high intensity PvP and PvE. Fallout has the crafting, survival mechanics, and open world exploration. And the base building, if only they could somehow be fused together. Multiplayer FPS, which took Bungie's Bethesda's perspective mega hits. Enter Earth Revival, an upcoming PC shooter which combines exploration, customization, base building, and even World of Warcraft style animal companions. Sold. Set in the futuristic but bleak 22nd century, it casts you as a struggling survivor on a seemingly obliterated former Earth. You can see the Fallout comparison growing stronger. Using customizable weapon skills, equipment, and upgrades, your job is to try and recapture the planet from a mysterious alien blight, all while fighting to live through crafting and survival mechanics. You need to hunt down food and other resources and build personal settlement in order to stay alive. So there is a little trailer here. So let's see what comes out of it.
Sure.
I'm probably going to need to turn down the volume for this. Or maybe not. Looking funky.
It's just
there?
it's not for us.
What was that?
Yeah, he said anyone in there, but I don't know if he meant it to us.
I can't be the only one. It's funky. And no, I wasn't saying is anyone there to you guys.
Okay.
Oh, I like the.
We just saw the anyone there on the screen.
Yeah, just now we're a bit behind. I like the opening though. I like the cinematic.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
But you know,
I mean, this is a cinematic trailer. It's not
right.
like
no, but I
not
mean,
like
just
it proves anything.
Thematically, I like what I see. Oh, yikes! That. But I think when I read that, it said there's no release date, but it's expected 2023.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot of good games potentially coming out there. That kind of... She looks like Tracer a little bit to me.
That new Dead Space stuff as well, huh?
Ooh,
There is that as well. There is the new Dead Space stuff.
There was the Pip-Boy. It was a little holographic thing rather than a... Oh wow, what a god.
Yeah, that new Dead Space stuff, that looked really crazy.
It's for PC and mobile, though, so that kind of makes me think it's a specific type of game.
Yes.
So it's hard to say what it's going to be like until we physically get the content. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's definitely something worth looking into and keeping as a note, because a lot of games are going for that PC mobile type experience these days, and it's not necessarily the sign of a bad thing. It's just it is a thing. But I mean, it depends on how it is. It could, like, just because something's on mobile doesn't mean it's a bad game, is what I would say. I don't discount things entirely because of that. It's just a case of it is what it is. It's the way the world's kind of going. Mobile gaming is a massive thing these days, and people want constant interaction. And
mobile's profitable. I mean,
Yeah.
companies make a lot of money off those microtransactions.
Mm-hmm. And just because it's a mobile, I mean, the mobile version is probably gonna chug in comparison. Like, you're not gonna get the same graphics, that kind of thing. But yeah, There's a lot of games like that, Mr. Free, that are super popular. I mean, isn't Genshin Impact mobile game as well?
Yes, it is a mobile game, but you can also play it on PC
Mhm.
and tablet. And you do have a straight. It's not like a competitive thing, but like it is very different on PC.
Then there's also like PUBG Mobile.
Yep.
It's a big kind of shift that companies they're trying to appeal to the mobile aspect of it as well. So yeah, it's not surprising me. A lot of games are kind of going that way these days. They're really, really going that way.
Yeah, people like playing games on their mobile. I think it's
Mhm.
absolute crap. Personally, I would never do it because it's not for me.
Kind of looks
Uh,
like Mad Max. Just finished my Secret Service unyielding full set onto Power Armor now. Good luck with that, animal. Good luck with that.
All right.
Wish
Get back
Star
to it in a
Citizen.
couple of years.
Yeah. Wish Star Citizen would come to Xbox, but not broken. Looks interesting. I've heard of Star Citizen. I've never looked into it. I've genuinely not looked into it. Basically, I personally think Halo Infinite has the worst season scoreboard. Basically, you don't get
the
nothing.
Ackman just did a new
Hmm.
video on the Halo Infinite as well. If you haven't seen that, it was good. It was really, really,
I
really good.
haven't seen it. I haven't even seen what's going on with Halo. If
All
anybody, give me a rundown of it.
No. It's so good that you actually want to sit down and watch it because it really talks about like how Halo is losing to other and how Halo is losing to other games and how it's trying to survive now in a new
Mhm.
meta that is basically battle royale. And he was also talking about the what Halo has forgotten and what Halo used to be, because Halo used to be the game where you could flop down after school or whatever, after work, down on the couch with 4 players on one screen and just go mayhem. And if you had
Mhm.
like a LAN party, you would go, oh look, we combined 3 Xboxes, like 4 PlayStation players that time could only play with 2 players, and that was split screen. You could play with 16 people. And then Xbox Live came. And now, like in the new Halo, like you don't like how Halo, the biggest staple of Halo is Slayer,
Mhm.
100%. And the new game, it doesn't. You can't even play Slayer in the start. Like what the fuck? Like what the flying?
Well, this is the kind of thing. Like games, they're kind of there's a massive shift in how games are working. Going
I also,
all
yeah.
over. And the whole mobile thing is definitely a factor. And basically nothing special is happening in Halo. So what you're telling me is the same as Fallout 76.
No, but Halo is has the potential to really get back into the game. I think
Mm-hmm.
if
Well,
Halo chooses to go back to what they used to be, like play a long game for fun, and like the best description of Halo is you hate it but you also love it, because even if you'd lose in like a 16-player match and you were like second or third, you'd be like, ah, fuck man, but you still play game, you'd still press it, like you wouldn't stop. That's
but
Halo.
Kenobi says, I'm gonna use some wise words from a wise man. Is this some kind of April Fool's joke? Kenobi, don't you own phones?
Mm. I don't like phone games either, like
No, I can't play games on my phone. I genuinely get really annoyed with it. And a lot of people that play mobile games, they find some way to port it to PC and they play it on their PC. I know a lot of people play PUBG Mobile on PC instead of having to pay for PUBG. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there. And the only real aspect of a lot of mobile games that lets them down in comparison to PC and console games is the graphics in them. They're not capable of running superiorly graphical games.
well, you're also talking storage wise. Like if you look at
Yeah.
Genshin right now, I think it's up to like 6 or 8 gigs, and some phones are already struggling. And like the next expansion that's coming out next Wednesday for Genshin is like 4.5, 3.5, 4.5 gigs. So like,
That's pretty wild.
oh, you need a fucking suitcase with extra SSD for your phone if you go. Like this is why I'm playing it on PC. And honestly, like Genshin is a good game and it's beautiful and like
Hey,
they
Gumnut.
put in so much money and it's fucking
Oh,
crazy.
it does look like a pretty game. I think it's very difficult to make a anime shell shaded style game look bad. Like you have to really, really fuck it up to make it look bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But like
Wind Waker is the prime example of shell shading. Is so easy to make a game look just fucking flat out amazing.
yeah, but this game it is absolutely amazing. Like you do have to it's a gacha game, so you don't really want to pull your wallet, huh? Once again.
Oh well, yeah. Well, the problem with gacha games on mobile is they're right next to your wallet.
Yeah. But like as we were playing TOF the other day,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you get some stuff left and right, you know. It's Genshin in the start, it's like that. It doesn't stay like that, you know.
oh no,
Like,
no, they never do. I'm not naive enough. Did you see Bubba actually linked me a couple of things about TOF, and 10 million accounts have been banned. Not is it
Yeah.
no 10, not 10 million, 10,000.
well, only
10,000
10,000.
accounts. I don't know where I went 10 million. Hey, country boy, how are you getting on, man? Welcome to the stream. What's crack-a-lackin'?
Wouldn't surprise me. But also, if you see what Genshin did with the profits, like they donated like a good, a smashing amount of money to hospitals as well to start development and sharing information about brainwaves and start development on deep dive MMOs. And this is not a joke. They actually did this. Like,
Don't mention deep dive MMOs to me. That the prospect of that is
like,
oh no, I've
I don't-
wasted a lot of my life already.
I don't even have to look left to my other screen to like see the grin on your face. Like my grin is just the same.
I mean, I've watched enough Overlord to know that I want to be an evil skeleton.
Yes, I want to be an evil skeleton, please.
Make me an evil skeleton, senpai.
Oh, but like even if they make nothing out of it, then they still have done so much with the money just to help people for brain research and all that kind of stuff. You know.
Well, these things, the cool thing about doing stuff like that is it has innate uses and it leads into other things. I mean,
Yeah.
think of the amount of times they've been doing stuff about how the brain does X, Y, and Z, and then they find cures for things. They find treatments for illnesses that exist and are currently there. So just because they're spending money on an application that is entirely frivolous and, you know, for video games, these things, like if you're doing brain research, these things innately then apply to real world uses.
Yeah.
And treatments and things like that. So I think it's a great thing. There's always a good idea to do these kind of things. Well, country boy, hopefully you manage to survive.
I do have
Hope
to say
things get better for you, man.
they make a disgusting amount of money with Genshin though. Like,
Oh, 100%. Like all
Rusty.
these companies do. All the kind of mobile companies. I mean, Raid Shadow Legends has got enough money to advertise on so many fucking YouTube channels for a fucking reason. They make an absolute ton. Mobile gaming is far more profitable than regular gaming.
Oh yeah, they're literally paying like streamers to like 2, 3, 4, 5K to just play their game for an afternoon.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I'm just gonna adjust my volume because I think
Half an afternoon of work and 5K. Wah!
oh yeah. It's just that there's a massive disparity in gaming between profits and things in certain games. I mean, look at Fortnite. It's Fortnite on mobile.
Probably is. I think you can play Fortnite on your smart fridge these days. So.
Yeah, so like Fortnite, think of the amount of money that game's made, and it's essentially just the same as PUBG Mobile. It's essentially just the same as all these kind of games. It's a relatively low effort game in terms of artistic style because it's all kind of simplistic in colors. You know, it's may as well be cell shaded. I don't think it is, but it's that kind of similar thing. I mean, Mr. Free, we'd all take the Raid Shadow Legends money. Most people do. Most people do.
Big monies. But yeah, like these games, it's just crazy how much revenue they make in a year. Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Companies will always go for that piece of the pie. So if I see a game that says mobile as well, it doesn't immediately make me think this is going to be shit. It makes me think they'll maybe have a mobile version and they'll maybe have a PC version. And the PC version is going to be different from the mobile version. It's probably going to be graphically superior. It's probably going to be the better game. But it depends. It really depends. And as long as it's fun, as long as it's actually fun to play. Because how fun does a fucking Destiny 2 Fallout style game sound?
Fun.
It sounds fun. It sounds like it's going to be a good idea. But ideas in practice are very different from theory. So we'll have to see how it goes and what it's like. Oh. I can't even see that, like, all those numbers.
yeah. You can see at the right bottom how much they made at that point, right? I think the game was live 1 year then.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's very insane. So yeah, don't shoot down mobile gaming. Obviously, people playing those shitty mobile games that are shitty. They're not, like, I don't classify them as real games, but there are plenty of real games that are on mobile these days.
Yeah.
Because let's put it this way. I mean, there's games on mobile phones that are far more advanced than games on your fucking Nintendo DS and Switch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not gonna lie. They put in a lot of work, but as you can see, like they made in 2021, they made 321 million, or is it even billion? Like I can't do the math. Fuck that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like it's a mobile game that has a revenue of something that you'll never physically see or hold or anything, like or have yourself.
A point I'd make about that, Genkai, if you had 70 billion pounds or whatever currency or whatever the conversion is, it would crush you. So yes, you definitely can't hold that.
yeah,
It would literally fucking break the floor below you. So
heaviest ATM card in the world, I would love to pay, sir, but the plastic is too hot.
I started telling everybody about the benefits of eating dried grapes. It's about raising awareness.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, Jesus.
No, Mr. Free, I get that point fully. I don't understand playing a game that is good on an inferior platform. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to play a game that I love, am I going to play it on mobile? Probably not. Am I going to play it on PC? Yes. Yes, I am. However, if you can play it on your phone, but it's linked up to the PC version, and you can do stuff for the PC version. If I'm out at work, then I can play on my phone and do it that way. That would be cool. And just do daily stuff. That would be interesting. But it depends on the link between them and if they're separate entities.
I do have the game Genshin on my phone, but the game works with energy, and you can condense the energy, so I kind of have to, like, when I'm out and I don't want to overcap. That's the only reason why I would boot it up on the phone. Other than that,
So, is it the same account? Is it the same stuff?
Everything is exactly the same.
Except you're on a phone.
Except you're on the phone, and I would never play it on the phone, except I run to the table, I condense the energy so I can use it later, and it can fill up again.
You make the spirit bomb so you can take out Majin Buu.
Yes. But that's, like, other than that...
Oh, no, wait, that's Fortnite nowadays.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who actually play it on the phone and who are crazy good on the phone as well. I just don't have the fingers for it, I guess.
They've got those freakishly fast fingers.
Yeah.
It's because they were using those fidget spinners back in the day.
Yeah, they're fidget boys, yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand playing it on those kind of things. But then we've been spoiled with PC gaming all our lives.
Yes, I was about to say, like, who are we to judge? Maybe they don't have anything. Like.
Yeah, no, no. Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of people, like, you can almost emphatically say that most people have phones. I
Most
think
of
this
them,
day and age, most people do have phones. Or at least most people that want to play games have a phone. Like, almost all gamers will have a phone because they have an inherent trust of technology.
yes.
So yeah, it's a more accessible form of gaming because what would you rather have your game on? An Xbox, a PlayStation, a Nintendo system, a PC, or something someone carries around in their pocket every single fucking day, every single hour of every single fucking day. So mobile
They
gaming
keep on
makes a
their-
lot of sense.
Yeah,
They
you
keep
can
it on
do
their
it.
nightstand when they're, So yeah.
Mm.
The advantage is that you can use it everywhere, and that's
Yeah.
also why the Switch is such a brilliant thing. You can.
On the new Stream Deck as well.
Yeah, it's also such a brilliant thing. Like,
Mhm.
and it's not as crappy as a PSP. Like PSP was good at the start, but it became really outdated
I
quickly.
really, really liked the PS Vita. I was a massive, massive fan of the PS Vita. A lot of the kind of advantages of the Vita were that people homebrewed it. Like that I think that the Vita's strongest point was that people made it into not a Vita. Well, it was still a Vita, but not a Vita.
Yeah, just
So that was the kind of advantage of that. It was like the homebrewer's fucking wet dream. And I think the Vita just didn't do very well because of poor marketing and just PlayStation fucked it. I think they could have done so much more with it because it was a great little console.
Yep.
Steam Link, yeah, Steam Link, definitely is works. Steam Deck, the Steam Deck is a different piece of tech. I mean, the Steam Deck is a different piece of tech. That's
It's the
that's
PC,
basically
right?
the
So it's a little
Switch.
teeny tiny handheld PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically the Switch, but for Steam.
Yeah.
It, literally, all it is if Steam made the Switch. Not
Yeah.
quite the same, but yeah. And I love the look of it. I'm not an early adopter. I've not bought one yet, but I do want one because.
It looks amazing.
Well, think of the amount of games I could go and fucking play at work.
I had the original PSP, so I never had the Vita. I had the first gen PSP, and I thought it was great. I mean, it actually. I mean, the graphics are good. The games were shorter. I mean, they were like condensed versions of what you'd get, but I mean, it was still it was pretty fun. I played it for a bit and then I stopped. I'm not really the mobile gaming type.
I do love my Game Boy though.
I'd be a liar if I really understood the aspects of Linux as a
it's
PC.
Linux.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's Linux because Steam. Well,
Gotcha.
Steam own Linux, do they not?
Linux is open source. Nobody owns it.
Or do they not? Well, that's maybe why they used it because nobody fucking owns it.
Right.
The developer obviously.
See, I don't know much about Linux. I'll be honest. I once installed it, got confused, and then uninstalled it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different thing. I mean, you can actually get, there's different flavors of it, so you can actually get some that are pretty user friendly.
It's just it was too much work and effort for me.
It is. It's more work than Windows for sure.
Yeah, it was like I wanted something I could just fucking turn on. If I spent time like actually thinking about it and doing stuff and looking it up, I'd probably find it more usable. But I don't have the time. I'll be honest, I don't.
Probably
have
is
the
the
time.
same for me. It probably is way better and good and shit, but like it's just so used to Windows and no time for that kind of.
Dale, I have a lunch break at work. I can play games then. My friend is the Linux user, and even he doesn't know how it works sometimes. For fuck's sake. But the thing I've seen so many different videos and different things about how Linux is absolutely fantastic and whatnot. But when you're lazy and limited on time. I don't want, like, if somebody would install it for me, set it up for me, and get it where I need it to be. But who's going to do that? You want to know what the longest word in the English language is? Smiles. The first and last letters are a mile apart.
That's
Fuck's sake.
all right. That's all right.
If you get a chuckle from me, is good enough, right?
Well, I mean, like that. The thing about dad jokes is they're not meant to be good. They're meant to be like one of those ones where you're like, "Oh God."
Yeah. But that's why I actually chuckle at them, because I think that's amazing. Those are the best jokes. Like,
Yeah.
Lord, did he just? Yes, he did. Good man.
Like on the note, because we're talking about handhelds now. I mean, did you guys ever have a Game Gear?
Nope.
No.
Oh my God, that was the brick of all handheld consoles. I mean, the batteries you had to put in that thing, and it was at the time it was so much better than the Game Boy, because the color and the high definition. Well, I say high definition. It wasn't high definition, but the image on it was fucking cracking. It was like a genuinely great little thing, and it just it's like the Vita. It's literally like the Vita. It just didn't get the same chance that the Game Boy got. The Game Boy just completely smashed it in the markets, even though the Game Boy's literally the Game Boy's picture quality was just so shit. For the 2 days I owned a working PSP, I only played The Last Ninja on an emulator. RIP PSP. Why did you own it only for 2 days, Sean? That seems like there's a story here.
Yeah, we want to know.
The way Windows 11 is going, Linux might become way more popular. Yeah, that's kind of the videos I've been watching, Cockney, about how Windows is spying on me. I totally didn't realize they were spying on me. It's not like my phone randomly starts recommending things to me that I said, I'll need to buy that, and then I go on Amazon and they're all fucking on my recommended list already. I'm fairly certain I'm being watched right now and listened to.
Absolutely.
Who could possibly be watching me? Oh, his wife washed it. I must have missed that. Wait, how does your wife wash a PSP?
Ooh.
Was that like a jacket pocket or something?
Yeah, they're not big, but
No,
they're
they
also
weren't that-
not small.
Yeah, they're not that small. Even big
Yeah.
phones are smaller than. Well, actually, I don't know.
They're quite big, and they have to be kind of in like a heavy
Yeah,
clothing.
but I could see you putting it in a pocket, maybe.
I know the weight of a PS Vita, and I feel like the PSP was heavier than that.
I think so.
She's a shit.
Apparently, Tachanka's always watching me. Always. Even
Whatever you're
when
saying.
I'm not online, he's actually outside right now. I can hear him breathing. You can see the mist on the door. Not the door, the window. I mean, and a pile of laundry seems like suspicious. Just big pile of like this is the thing. Surely you'd feel the weight.
I'm
Surely.
thinking maybe.
I mean, obviously she
Maybe you're
didn't.
playing too much time looking at your games and not enough time paying attention to your wife. So maybe she was sending you a message.
Oh yeah, that could be a thing. Maybe she was sending you a message.
Like when your dog pees in your slippers.
Are you trying to imply his wife pisses in his slippers?
No, I was making an analogy.
Mm.
It was the human equivalent of peeing in slippers.
I can see if it's in a pile of laundry and you put it in one go that it could happen. But yeah,
Didn't notice what was in your pocket. She just thought you were happy to see her. Is that what it was?
I mean, my wallet got washed about a month ago.
several times.
Yeah, I think everyone's done the wallet thing.
I've done this several times, and
Yeah,
I don't keep cash in my wallet anyway. So
I was more worried about the wallet than anything else. Everything in it was replaceable, but the wallet was. I like the wallet.
oh yeah, then I see. then it sucks. Did the wallet survive though?
Got
Did the
separated due to Call of Duty. What? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Either way. You don't wash your
Yeah.
PSP.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
don't wash your PSP in the washing machine.
Or other people's PSP.
Or other people's. Or the Switch. Or the PlayStation. Or your
Right.
don't wash other people's PC in there. I suppose that's the advantage of PC gaming over mobile gaming. No one can accidentally put it in the washing machine.
Well, you say that until you give your screwdriver.
You say that, and
to your
your,
wife
your
and you
brand
go
new
to work.
laptop is in the dryer. What's
It's
that noise?
just like what's that noise in there? Oh, I don't know. It's like,
I don't
oh
know.
well, your PC must have been under the pile of clothes, along
Yeah.
with the monitors. Just,
Me or the game. Wow.
what fucking type of washing machine
No,
have you
no,
got?
no,
Like
no,
an
it-
industrial one.
It's gonna be even better. It's gonna be dismantled and everything in the PC, and she's gonna be like, "Yes, I thought I should clean it for you."
Right. Washing the parts with like an old toothbrush, just scrubbing all the components, getting them all nice and shiny.
Isn't UK money waterproof? I mean, probably. But I think you underestimate what a washing machine does. It's not necessarily the water that's the real issue. It's the, metal drum that is spinning around in at 500 miles an hour. She said it was me or the game. I got a flat. Fuck's
Wow.
sake, Sean.
Damn.
I'm not quite at that stage yet where the wife tells me it's me or the game. Though if the game was Fallout 76, I'd definitely pick my wife. It's like,
If it
please,
was 76, I would
give-
pick my wife.
give
like,
me a fucking ultimatum to get me away from Fallout 76. Help.
understandable. Unfortunately, it has so much potential, huh? If they would turn a
Yeah,
few screws.
that
Nope.
is literally Fallout 76's epitaph will be, there was so much potential.
Could have been a
I hope
contender.
I seriously hope they let 9/11 go loose on this shit, and then it
Did-
might
did-
actually become good.
Did you just say you hope they go 9/11 on this?
Yeah, that they no, they
Double 11.
double 11.
You definitely said 9/11.
Yeah, but they need to nuke the game, right?
One or the other, right?
That's-
Either,
that's
either
been
double 11 or
clipped.
9/11.
That's been clipped. I hope they go 9/11 on this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they need to nuke the game, so it can
No,
only
yeah.
become better.
I do agree, though, that they need to let Double 11 do what they need to do in order to get it where it needs to be. And I think because Microsoft I think they're pulling strings behind the scenes. Don't know how much they're doing it and what they're doing. I think we're going to get a more likely change to things, but we'll see what they do and what happens. I mean, it's literally a case of we won't know what happens until it happens.
Yep, that is the problem. I just hope it becomes better because the pit kind of feels lackluster.
Dale thinks laundering money was legal.
Oh,
Become a Destiny player.
hell
I
no.
don't want to. I played Destiny 1 and it fucking ruined any chance of me going to any other Destiny game.
Yep.
Legitimately, Destiny 1 just, what a, again, wasted potential.
I hear it's not very fun.
Wasted potential. I know Destiny 2 has done a blinder, but if I wanted to get into Destiny 2, I would have done it when it was new. And I probably would maybe even still be playing it now. But Destiny 1 fucked it for me. It just ruined every bit of enthusiasm I had for the franchise. And I was really, really enthusiastic for Destiny. Same level of enthusiasm for Destiny 1 as I had for 76 originally. And I mean, I bought the Super Mega Ultra Edition of 76. Didn't get a chance to get the one for Destiny. I think it was already sold out by the time I did.
It
Elder
does
Sc-
have like the
Hmm?
perfect formula for a game for me as well, but unfortunately,
Was it Destiny one that ruined it for you too?
well, the whole Destiny franchise is kind of meh.
Elder Scrolls Online is a much slicker game. Unfortunately, it feels like it has no soul. I'm fairly certain, Cockney, that's because Molag Ball stole them all. That's about all I know about the game. Yeah, I've heard people say that same kind of thing. I think the real problem is when you make an MMO, it's less about if you to compare it to Fallout and Elder Scroll traditional games, they're very plot and character interaction driven. And when you make them into an MMO setting, in MMOs you can't really get that same level of immediate interaction. There's a big disconnect. You're not the hero. You're not the MacGuffin of the game. You're not the Dragonborn. You are a Dragonborn. You're not the Dragonborn. You're a Neverine. You're not the Neverine. You're, you get the sense of it. You are one in a massive group of heroes. So the soul of these type of games are very much you're the fucking center of the universe. And it's not the same in Elder Scrolls Online. You're not the center of the universe. You have to work together. You have to band together as a group. Whereas in all the other Elder Scroll games, you can fucking solo the universe. You can Fush Roda Alduin into the fucking Shadow Realm. So it is like that is that's Elder Scroll Online's problem, is it's not the same as other Elder Scrolls games because it's not meant to be. It's an MMO. And if you're going in it with the expectation that it's going to be like Elder Scrolls, then you're not gonna be happy with it. You like if you go in the expectation that you've played World of Warcraft, you've played Final Fantasy, whatever fucking one is the MMO, because I always forget which number it is. You'll probably go into a more reasonable expectation. But if you go in thinking, I've played Skyrim, it's going to be it's a big shock. I put 150 hours into it, then just stopped. Grind with no building. I mean, that's a kind of problem as well.
Sounds like Black Desert Online. Grind, 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 grind.
I don't mind games like that if there's
No,
like a progression.
Yeah, but it was just grinding, like no progression, little progression,
I like talking about McMuffins to Chunka. Sweet, delicious McMuffins. We're back to Linux again. I played it on my Linux rig.
Let's try to find another subject. We still had some more, right?
Oh, I've got fucking loads more.
I'm gonna sign out at this point.
Okay.
I need to do some editing.
All right. Good luck.
Well, to be fair, Genkai, I was pretty much going to end the stream at midnight, so we have reached midnight.
Oh, it's midnight.
It is midnight. So a big thank you to everybody for coming along tonight. It's been really appreciated. I enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys have as well. And what I would say, I'm probably going to make a channel in the Discord for suggestions of things you guys would love for us to talk about during these streams. So I'll leave that. I'll make one up on the Discord server. So make sure you join Discord for more stuff from us. We will have video, at least a video tomorrow for the Atomic Shop update. Not the Atomic Shop, Minerva. I think she's got a big sale coming tomorrow, so we'll be putting that up, and then we'll obviously have all our other relevant little things. What the fuck is that? Oh, I don't think that was anything. I think it was just doing an old message. Randomly, my my fucking thing just sends me like emails on my screen. That's really confusing. So yeah, thanks for coming along, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And we'll catch you all next time in whatever the fuck game I'm playing. But yeah, thanks for coming, and we'll catch you again.
Bye, chat.
And I'll forget.